Chapter 141, Recruitment. According to Yi Tianxing's idea, eternal coin was first implemented in the army. Soldiers and soldiers, guarding Xuanwang village, should take military puppets every month and serve as soldiers to eat food. This is a natural thing. Before, they fought for their own survival. Now, and even later, we must start a little change. Now is the time for the cauldron meal. There is no money, no one cares. But after all, everyone did not come over from the primitive society. Originally, they all had their own civilization. It is very clear that in this world, the importance of money, without money, is hard to do. Now even in the eternal continent, the same will happen. As long as money comes out, everyone will give a strong attention to this. From cauldron rice directly to private ownership. Definitely a breeze. But now, Yi Tianxing has no plans to end the state of the big pot rice. The people in Xuanwang village say more or less, and there is more and less. This kind of excessive, can't be anxious, can only slow down, come a little bit. Moreover, people's livelihood needs to be restored. This is the most critical. Only by restoring people's livelihood and being self-sufficient. In order to promote the development of the entire Xuanwang village. Huang Lao, at the same time I was preparing to build Xuanwang village, I began to restore people's livelihood. Yi Tianxing said. Which aspect is the protagonist planning to start with? Huang Chengyan nodded. Restoring people's livelihood is obviously extremely important. People take food as the sky and farming as the basis. The most important thing now is to fill their stomachs. Where can we get the supplies from the tourist merchants? We cannot support them for a long time. Although we can hunt the beasts will be punished. When the killing is finished, sooner or later, the nearby beasts will be hunted and killed. At that time, if they can't achieve self-sufficiency, everyone will be starved to death. Quote. So, I plan to mobilize the people in the village to clear up the valley, start to wasteland, distribute food and cultivate. The mild climate in the valley, and the aura between the heavens and the earth are sufficient, and it can completely shorten the time for the food to mature. As long as you go through the most difficult period in the beginning, you can enter a good cycle. Quote. Yi Tianxing said, farming is the most important way to survive for the descendants of Huang and Huang since ancient times. It is also a way to survive by relying on mountains and mountains. It is the same, however, I think that even if the farmland is reclaimed, it cannot be directly distributed to all the villagers. One cannot give land to everyone, and the other is that once the fields are divided, it is like leaving the current cauldron. There will be other thoughts. This will not be conducive to the construction of the village. Quote. Huang Chengyan nodded his head and said after a moment of groaning. Yep. Yi Tianxing looked at Huang Chengyan with approbation. If he could think of these, he knew the current situation of Xuanwang village very well. So I plan to settle the fields first, wait for the transition to complete, and then divide the fields. After everyone is a monk, it's not just farming that can lead a good life and practice a variety of skills, and each one can become a source of self-cultivation. Some people will choose farming, but at that time, the planting may not be ordinary grains, but lingu lingzi. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. In the era of nationwide practice, you can't expect everyone to plant land and choose to continue farming. After practicing, you can take other paths and choose other skills. You can make runes and spells. Can cast magic soldiers. Can create all kinds of magical small items. You can origami, you can make alchemy. As long as you practice bai, you will definitely not starve to death. However, livelihood issues are still being addressed. It is feasible to move the farmland. I have seen it before. Not far from the river, there is an open space. It is close to the water, surrounded by barren land, no trees, it can be cultivated. It can be reclaimed easily. The most important thing is to be able to defend against the attacks of beasts and birds, or else the grain will be destroyed by those animals before it matures. Quote. This is the first problem that Tuntian needs to face. Xuanwang village did not completely control the entire valley. It only controls a small area nearby. For the valley, it is only the outermost part. It is still a matter of strength to say 10,000. Once Tuntian, near the good land that was reclamation, I am going to use the army to defend it. Even if there are fierce beasts, I can give those soldiers the opportunity to experience and see the blood. And, I'm going to expand and recruit again. The population of Xuanwang village is now greatly increased, and there are a large number of young people. Moreover, they have also started to cultivate and become monks, and they can join the army. Become soldiers. One way is to increase the strength of the village, and the other is to ease the conflicts that may occur in the village. Make the best use of manpower. What we need now is to restore people's livelihood, and the second is to enhance the strength of the entire village. The army is our external strength. Quote. Yi Tianxing said, the population in the village is increasing, and there is no close relationship with each other. It is okay to be short. Once the time is long, there may be various contradictions. It is not other problems. Personality problems may cause a lot of trouble. Now recruiting in the army can solve this problem from the root. After a while, after discussions with Huang Chunyan. Not long after, in a prominent location in the village, in front of a specially established bulletin board, 2 notices were posted directly on it. After the notice was posted, it immediately attracted the attention of many people in the village. One by one curiously went up and watched. Open up wasteland orders. Recruiting order. Immediately, literate people spoke. After that, the whole village was in an uproar and boiled completely. Open up wasteland, the village head is here to plant food and resume production. Great, Li Lao Li is a good expert in farming. I have seen it out of the park a long time ago. The land here is very fertile. They are all good fields for growing grain. There must be no problem. Maybe the output will increase greatly. Quote. I said a long time ago that it's not a problem to eat fiendish meat all the time. Sooner or later, vicious beasts will become less. Even if they are not scarce, normal rice will still be available. The village head is going to start farming. We must support it vigorously. We must not be left behind. When we grow food, everyone will not be hungry. Quote. I also want to participate in the development of wasteland, and now I am a monk, nothing else, but I have some strength. Many people, originally farmers, immediately grinned when they saw the wasteland. This is their old business, all of them are quite good at it. Besides, this is to fill our stomachs and grow food for everyone. That is not ambiguous at all. Many people already have itchy hands. Even as a monk, many farmers think that farming is the job they want. The recruiting order is written here. As long as you join the army, you can cultivate the skills and techniques of the army, and you can also get military puppets, ordinary soldiers, and 3 eternal coins for each month. But what is eternal coins? Is it the new currency minted in our Xuanwang village? I have heard before that the village is already preparing to mint currency. Issuing currency. Quote. Someone saw the words of military juncture appearing on it, and eternal coin was instantly imprinted in his mind. This is really a huge discovery. Once true, there will be big developments in the village. I'm going to be a soldier. The village chief is not the emperor of the dynasty, but attaches great importance to the soldiers, and also builds the military aircraft cabinet. There is no need to be persecuted by others. Besides, only the army can protect the entire village from the outside world. Invade and resist fierce beasts. The exercises in the army are very fast. I have only this strength. The village chief rescued us. Now the village chief wants to recruit soldiers, and the big dog must go to join the army, become a soldier, serve the village chief, and protect Xuanwang village. I also want to join the army. I have longed for the scene of soldiers fighting with fierce beasts. I have no other skills and expertise. Only by becoming a soldier can I better protect the village. Repay the village chief. Seeing the recruiting order, many young people in the village expressed their excitement. Witnessing the soldiers in the village to fight with fierce beasts again and again, and to fight with foreign enemies, the blood in the hearts of many young people was already excited. Especially after becoming a monk, many people yearn to enter the army and protect the village people. Many people want to become more powerful after entering the army. A recruiting order now appears, and many are immediately determined. Not long, Yang Yanping set up his table and began to recruit troops in front of the barracks to record. Jia Yukan also began to register with the people from the Temple of Heaven. When these people entered the barracks, they were military members. This requires leaving a record in the Temple of Heaven. The number of people participating in the army is very large, but as long as the conditions are qualified, all are not refused. All accepted. Some people have already taken a large number of farmers and went to the wasteland to start wasteland. Reclaiming fields. Those who have awakened their control of the water also followed, and immediately after they cleared a field, they used the water control magic power to control the river water, appearing above the field, turning into rain, and nourishing the soil. Easy to seed. Make the land more fertile. www.novelhall.com contains vitality. Near the wastelanders, Yang Yanding also brought a group of soldiers. Patrol around to prevent a beast from rushing out and hurting the wasteland people. Everything is in order. It was hot, chatting while chatting, and they were cheering and laughing. Hope on his face. When there is land, the mind is at peace. The recognition of Xuanwang village one by one became stronger. They already consider themselves to be a member of Xuanwang village. Cao Steward, the principal is here. Hu Bin from Tiangong came to the mansion and asked Cao Zhengchun when he saw it. For Cao Zhengchun, there is nothing to despise. Even if many people know that Cao Zhengchun is an eunuch, no one dares to look down. To be continued. Chapter 142, Character. Monday, please recommend a monthly pass. Close black lens bracket. Without it, first, Cao Zhengchun is very powerful. Originally, there was cultivation, and once again, it was 1,000 miles away, and it was really absorbable, and in almost the shortest time, the cultivation was promoted. Now the 12 seriousness is about to get through. Complete the second level practice of Shanghai realm and step into the third most Shanghai realm. Not to mention, Cao Zhengchun is now the steward under Yi Tianxing. What a housekeeper is, the housekeeper in the ordinary people's house is naturally nothing, but the housekeeper of Wang Yi's house, even the prime minister saw it, must have a smile on his face, although it is a bit exaggerated to describe Cao Zhengchun. But obviously, the truth is the same. Butler, that can only be a close one. This means that the relationship between the owner and the owner is different and extraordinary. Anything, the steward represents the host's face. Either way, Hu Bin didn't dare to despise Cao Zhengchun. This is not a fuel-efficient lamp. The host is now in the quiet room. I'll let you know. You will wait for a while. Cao Zhengchun said nothing about Hu Bin's respect, but just nodded. The sound is still sharp. Subsequently, Cao Zhengchun went to the quiet room. After minting the eternal coin, Yi Tianxing was preparing to enlighten the Fuyu Wei. One of the most important things in the village is to make a heaven card. With this identity card in place, many things can naturally be opened and perfected. Facing Hu Bin's arrival, Yi Tianxing nodded and let him in. Sir, you have already done what you ordered. Look, this is not what you need. As soon as Hu Bin entered, he immediately opened a wooden box in his hand. I just saw that in the box, there was a stack of carefully crafted animal skins. These animal skins have been processed in a unique way. Not only are they thin, but they are also cut to the size of rune paper. It seems that the number is definitely a lot. Moreover, on the side, there was a dark red dais, and the ancient texture appeared on the dais. At first glance, it is not ordinary. You can feel a peculiar aura in the ring. There is also a writing brush. The brush body is made of bones. I don't know how it was made. The bones turned out to be golden. These animal skins are made of the finest animal skins. Not only are they not greasy, but they are extremely dry. They can easily write any text and depict any patterns. There are also dais, which are used according to the protagonist and other animal bones, plus animal blood, crushed together to create a spirit blood pupa. Rune pen is using the golden rat king's tailbone as a pen rod. The remaining golden rat hair is a pen. Both come from one body, you can perfect fit. Quote. If the protagonist is dissatisfied, his subordinates will immediately go back and redo. Hu Bin quickly spoke to Yi Tianxing. Good marks, it is beyond my expectation to be able to make these. It seems that there are talented people in Tiangong. Yi Tianxing nodded his head, glanced at Hu Bin thoughtfully, and said slowly. Can quickly make what you need in a short period of time. Moreover, it is not rough and messy, no matter what it is, it can be called a fine product. In particular, the golden amulet pen can even inscribe the next pattern on the pen body, making the amulet pen more exquisite. The skill is so high, it's a real chat. At least, this is not what Hu Bin can do. The thought of secretly having time to go to Tiangong. It's the character of the protagonist. Only a lot of craftsmen with skills can have status and be respected. For the protagonist, everyone is doing everything possible to do their best to do their best. Enlightenment. Quote. Hu Bin also said gratefully. In the past, no one had met anyone who had raised their craftsmanship to such an extent. The skilled man in this opponent is absolutely an unimaginable gospel. No one is grateful to Yi Tianxing. Everything is done seriously and seriously. Be careful again. Fearing what might go wrong, this trust lives up. Well, let's go and do things. The village is under construction and you need to do more. The village needs to be expanded. You have a lot of things. Do things seriously. Xuanwang village belongs to each of us. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. Yes, Lord, Hu Bin agreed respectfully. Then he quickly backed out and walked enthusiastically. Amulet paper made from animal skins. Golden rat king tail bones, rune pens made from rat hair, and beasts made from animal bones and blood. All the items needed to make a rune have been completed. It is time to start making them yourself symbol. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, and a look of expectation appeared in his eyes. According to the basic rune of scripture, a truly qualified charmer naturally has a complete set of tools: rune pen, rune paper, rune, and platform. As for auxiliary tools, there are two types: amulet table and honing. The honing system is naturally to produce the required rune table, which is used to make rune paper, and to produce various special rune molds. All is complete, can be considered a true set of system tools. However, there is clearly no way to achieve everything. There can only be what is used. What is missing can only be made later. When I came to a table case, I placed the rune paper made of that animal skin on the table case, poured a little water on the piece of rune, and grind it a little bit, so that the ink in the table appeared a dark red. Aura rises from it, echoing like mist. Grind the rune juice a little bit, pick up the golden rune pen, place a piece of animal skin rune paper in front of it, smooth it with paperweight, and press the ends. A snow-white color, as if experiencing bleaching, reveals a touch of spirituality. Put the golden rune pen into the ring, and let the pen tip be filled with dark red rune juice, and lift the pen without dripping the rune juice at the pen point. Good pen. Yi Tianxing secretly sighed in his heart. With a pen, Yi Tianxing's eyes closed inexplicably, seemingly quietly calming himself. In fact, in my mind, I have quickly thought about the pattern I want to draw, and carefully look at the direction of each of these runes, how to run the pen, and outline the traces. To completely engrave the whole rune in your mind. What he is going to draw is the most basic rune of fire flames. This is the most basic fire rune. Once successful, this rune can be turned into a flame. In fact, it is similar to fireball. The next moment, Yi Tianxing opened his eyes and opened them. In his eyes, Xuan shot a strong self-confidence. To believe in himself, believe that he can successfully produce the first rune in his life. Self-confidence is always the most important. Faith is the strongest. Brush. The painting method of the flame rune has long been deeply imprinted in the mind, and it has experienced repeated thoughts. At this moment, as soon as the pen is drawn, the wrist is forced, and the rune under the pen draws a strange track and appears on the rune paper. With a stroke, there was no pause, and the rune of the flame rune was perfectly outlined on the rune paper. At the same time as the outline, the vitality in the body was naturally poured into the rune pen, and the ink was burned on the animal skin rune paper along the rune pen and the ink at the tip. For a time, I only saw that the mysterious runes in the pen flashed reddish light on the rune paper. This move was almost done in one go. There is no pause, like the flow of tears. At the same time, when the rune was completely painted, immediately, I saw that around the place, a red light spot quickly gathered into the rune paper. There was a flash of light on the rune paper. Incorporate all the crimson light dots into the rune paper and bind them inside the rune. In an instant, all visions disappeared. This feeling is really smooth and flowing, and it is as easy and free as possible. There is no rigidity, as if I have painted it many times. It succeeded. When the runes on the rune paper were restrained, Yi Tianxing's eyes could not help revealing an unbelievable look. I can't believe it. The first time I made a charm, I was able to succeed once. When I first drew an amulet, I felt like I wasn't myself at all. Every time I went down, I felt like how to do it. The dish was the most correct. When sketched, there is a wonderful rhythm. There are fast and slow, slow and urgent. Very mysterious. If the system fails, one is that the rune is not finished, and the other is that the rune paper is directly destroyed and turned into powder. But now it is complete. Obviously, it really succeeded. Does our town have a powerful talent for the charm? Yi Tianxing murmured secretly. Reaching out and holding the rune in front of you, you can feel that there is an extremely violent power in the rune, which seems to erupt completely at any time, but sealed by a mysterious force in the rune paper. Can't be revealed. There are no runes, only a pattern of flames on it. The runes have been hidden in the rune paper and cannot be seen. This is also a sign of the success of the system. Opened the quiet room, came out, and came to an open space. With a wave of his hand, the flame amulet flew out, and a layer of red light glowed on it, which instantly turned into a flame the size of a baby's head, www.novelhall.com, directly fell to the ground. Boom! There was a crisp sound on the ground, and a charred trace appeared. The destructive power that erupted was not strong, but it was definitely not weak. At least the monks in Shanghai's first realm will be greatly damaged. Really successful? No, I'll try again. Yi Tianxing showed excitement in his heart. He wants to determine if he really has such a powerful talent. After returning to the quiet room again, take out a piece of rune paper again, and begin to scribe on the rune paper again. Brush. But this time, I don't know why. The painting was almost completed halfway through. When red dots of light gathered around the rune paper, the entire rune paper instantly turned into flames and burned. Burned to ashes completely. To be continued. Chapter 143, Gifted. Third more, please recommend a monthly pass. Brothers give some strength. Close black lens bracket. Failed. Yi Tianxing's face changed slightly, and the excitement in his body suddenly cooled like a pot of cold water. The first time the charm was successful, it was destroyed immediately. It was like a slap in the head, completely woke up. There is something wrong, I can draw the runes, and I didn't feel any bluntness, but why did the previous picture succeed and when I drew it again, it failed? There must be something wrong in it. Yi Tianxing can feel that he is not stiff and hard at all in the process of writing runes. He mentioned it in the basic runes. Some people are not suitable for the system. In the process of writing runes, in the middle, you will feel an invisible obstacle from the heavens and the earth. This obstacle makes the movement in the pen stiff, and even unable to write. The runes are not wrong, but they have problems. However, why did I succeed before? There are differences between before and just now. Yi Tianxing was not frustrated, but remembered the previous in his mind seriously. Every action when making a break. No, my heart is chaotic. The writing is too scrupulous, and the rhythm of the writing is ignored. The key to the runes is the runes. The runes are written in spiritual ink, and the spirit is the first. The first and most important thing is a rune can only be regarded as a complete rune if it has spirituality, which is rhythm. Traction the vitality of heaven and earth, and then lock the vitality of heaven and earth with the power of the rune, and merge it into the rune paper. Quote. Because I was too excited before, I didn't notice the rhythm of writing. The rigidity and softness of the writing and the strength of the writing force can change the rhythm of the runes. I just blindly pursued to finish the runes. Come to heaven and earth vitality, but the rune cannot lock the heaven and earth vitality that hauled over, and eventually directly turned to ashes. Quote. After Yi Tianxing pondered for a moment, suddenly a sword flashed in his mind. Immediately gave birth to a sense of enlightenment. Rhythm is rune lock. This kind of rhythm is not correct, naturally you can't lock the vitality of traction, and you can't fail unless you fail. At the same time, a sentence mentioned in the basic rune also emerged in my mind. The way of making amulets lies in rigidity, in softness, in rigidity and softness, and in rhythm, in flowing clouds, in one go, and in a single rune. In the heart, there is a spirit in the calm. Runes lock the heavenly spirit. Quote. I see, come again. Yi Tianxing secretly knew. Take out a piece of rune paper again, hold the rune pen, and simmer the rune juice in the rune. The pen tip naturally falls on the rune paper, and the true dragon spirit in the body is slowly poured into the rune pen. This time, the rune pen is unhappy. No slow, the whole mind is united, and the rune pen slowly traces the rune that comes to mind in its mind, as if it is depicting the trajectory of the world. Guide the rhythm of heaven and earth's vitality with the power of true dragon. In addition, the real dragon spirit is very easy to pull the heaven and earth vitality. As the head of all souls, it can suppress various orders. Around, faintly, a little reddish light spot slowly penetrated into the rune paper, into the texture of the rune. Brush. The runes in the writing were completed in one go. As soon as the strokes in the pen were closed, we immediately saw that the red spots around them naturally penetrated into the animal skin rune paper with a unique rhythm. On the white rune paper, the crimson texture gradually appeared, and in a flash, it turned red. As soon as the rune above lighted up, the vitality of the surrounding world no longer poured into the rune paper. The elemental power of fire within the rune is also bound by the rune, and is arranged in accordance with the rune's trajectory. Locked in rune paper. The whole rune, completely lived, strange changes, on the rune paper, turned into a lifelike flame. Power did not seep from the charm paper at all. Successful, it really is. The flame talisman was just made. There was a smile on the corner of Yi Tianxing's mouth. This success completely confirmed the previous speculation in my mind. However, did not relax, took out a piece of rune paper again, and started to draw the flame rune again. This time, there were still no accidents, and the runes were rewritten with ease again. The process of culling the world's vitality was not unexpected. It was done naturally, and then a flame rune was completed again. With this momentum, he drew 5 or 6 flame charms in a row, but failed even once. As long as there is no problem with the rhythm in his own writing, there is almost no possibility of failure. Although the true dragon spirit in my body has a strong and powerful ability to suppress the outside world's vitality, even if it is the violent fire spirit, under the traction of the true dragon spirit, it must be restrained in the rune. Do'ent dare to be violent. Does the real dragon spirit increase the success rate of the charms? Quote. Yi Tianxing instinctively felt something unusual. According to the truth, the heaven and earth vitality being dragged over is very violent, not the true spirit after self-refining. It is definitely not so easy to control, but it's just that those heaven and earth vitality, entering the rune, dare not be violent. Show it, just let it run and lock it into the rune. This makes Fuji's chances of success increase unknown how many times. Much easier than expected, just like the real dragon spirit, it can command the vitality of all the heavens and the earth. This process is difficult to think about easily. Try another rune again. In order to confirm the idea in his heart, Yi Tianxing is ready to draw another type of rune, which is also the basic rune and wind blade rune. Still in my mind, I thought about the whole wind blade rune secretly, thought about the runes in it, and felt the rhythm of the runes in them, a little bit inscribed in my mind and imprinted on the soul. Then he picked up the charm pen and drew it on the charm paper. This time, the brushwork became elegant and soft. Follow the feelings and cognitions of the Fuyu in my heart, and write naturally. A strange rhythm emerges from the pen. Imperceptibly, the rune was completely written on the rune paper. Each cyan light spot quickly entered into the rune. Suddenly, the entire rune was hidden in the rune paper, and on the rune paper, a sharp pattern of wind blades emerged, which seemed to make people feel chilling. It seems that from the inside, the wind blade will fly out and cut off the body. Wind blade rune, it's done. Sure enough, under the traction of Junlong's breath, there is no riot in the wind's vitality. It is directly locked and easily bound in the rune. Complete the rune. Become a part of it. Unexpectedly, the real dragon's breath still has this magical power. Quote. Yi Tianxing could not help but give birth to a kind of ecstasy. Confirming the idea in his heart is equivalent to saying that when he wants to make a charm in the future, it will be easier and easier than other charm divisions. In addition, when I am in the system, I also have a very happy feeling. There is a strong sense of the rhythm and feeling contained in the runes. All these made him have a strong interest in the system. I didn't expect that I was still a genius of charms. On the charms, it can be said that they are talented. With this hand, I will never lose money. Yi Tianxing secretly rejoiced. Not to mention anything else, at least the talent of this character is absolutely beyond ordinary people. My own perception of runes is much stronger than that of ordinary monks. Try to make the note first. Next, Yi Tianxing began to put his mind on refining the amulets needed to make the Tianji card. The note is one of them. Think carefully about Fuxi in your head. Start drawing again. However, this time it failed for the first time, and did not succeed, because there was a slight error in the control of the rune rhythm. After a while of contemplation, he shot again and failed again. At the third time, he finally succeeded and drew the note. Each time he drew a falcon, Yi Tianxing's perception of falcon became more profound. Moreover, it seems that Yi Tianxing's luck is very amazing today, and the process of making the symbols is very smooth. Musical notes, imprints, sons and daughters, and quotation marks have been successfully refined. The quotation marks are the media runes that connect to the star network. So Yi Tianxing named it quotation mark. In fact, refining the quotation marks is very simple, it seems to be directly imprinted in the spirit of Yi Tianxing, and you can easily grasp the rhythm. Draw it, the simplest. Success the first time. However, I was not in a hurry, and I drew a few pictures of each time again, thoroughly confirming that after each success. Then he took a deep breath, flashed a light in his hand, and took out a crystal card like a jade. It is a crystal card condensed with bone crystals smelted from various animal bones. It's time to try to make a heavenly card. It's more difficult than making amulet alone. I don't know if this card can withstand the power of a few amulets. To make a heavenly card, you need to inscribe the 4 runes on the crystal card. This process is not a simple drawing of runes, but is like refining a magic weapon. In fact, the refiner, to a large extent, must still understand runes. Refining the magic weapon of magic instruments, need to incorporate various prohibitions in it. This prohibition, www.novelhall.com, can be turned into various handprints in the hands of the refiner and entered into the magic weapon of refining. In fact, the handprints transformed by this prohibition are, in fact, a rune, but the expression of the rune was turned into a forbidden handprint and entered into the magic weapon of the magic weapon. The spell maker is making the top rune. In fact, the rune is no different from the magic weapon. It's just different ways of manufacturing, but they all have the same powerful power and supernatural power. Now Yi Tianxing has to inscribe several runes on the crystal card one after another, which is equivalent to refining the crystal card like a magic weapon. Could it be successful? Haven't tried it. Yi Tianxing did not dare to guarantee that he could do it. Hopefully succeed. Looking at the crystal card in front of him, Yi Tianxing secretly took a breath. His eyes and pupils became more dignified instantly, and the whole mind had reached its peak. No more fluctuations. It seems that at this moment, only the crystal card exists. To be continued. Visit website, chapter 144, print. Brush. Fill the rune pen with ink, and then place the pen on the crystal card. Crystal card with different rune paper, its size is smaller than the rune paper. To draw a rune, the difficulty naturally increases, it becomes more difficult. If you are not careful, you will fail. You must make the most accurate deduction and estimate in your mind before drawing the symbols, before you can start to do it. Draw the note first. A thought flashed into Yi Tianxing's mind without hesitation. As soon as the stroke of the pen turned, he immediately began to draw runes on the crystal card. Although the rune paper became a crystal card, it still had little effect. After a while, the complete rune of the note was completely written on the crystal card. Around the world, a spontaneous energy gathered naturally towards the runes on the crystal card, and the light flashed, and the entire rune had completely disappeared into the crystal card. Music note, success. On the crystal card, only the pattern of a pair of speakers emerged, and did not occupy much space. Next is the imprint. Without hesitation, taking advantage of the feeling of success, I began to draw the runes of the printed rune again. This is a draw on the same crystal card. They have an influence on each other, because the rune power of the note is already sealed in the crystal card. When drawing other runes, the previous runic runes will interfere, affect the rhythm of the next rune, and are most likely to fail. Once affected, the rhythm will fluctuate and it will end in failure. At this time, there is no trace of mind. While drawing the runes, it is necessary to suppress the original rune machine in the crystal card with true qi. Suppress it thoroughly so that it does not affect the runes that are being transcribed. This process is much more difficult than the individual drawing characters. Fortunately, with the suppression of the true dragon's spirit, the topography symbol was successfully completed again. Runes are hidden in the crystal card. Okay, 2 have been successful, now is the third, Sun and Mother. In the basic runes, the Sun and Mother runes can also be regarded as quite advanced runes. For example, in the legend, Taoist priests help people find friends and relatives, and when they are close to their blood relatives, they will use the Sun and Mother runes, relying on each other's clothes or hair. Objects, to find the trace of the other party and guide the direction. This is actually to use the air machine between these objects to give birth to the meditation. It is more difficult to draw. Especially now, 2 consecutive runes are integrated into the crystal card, and the third one is superimposed, and the difficulty is doubled again. Click. However, this time after the difficulty is increased, the rhythm of the Sun and Mother character is interrupted when it is transcribed. The rune completely collapsed, and with it, a small crack appeared on the crystal card. The light is dim. Failed. Even the original engraved note and topographer are affected. Although it is still useful, the power of the runes contained in it will continue to dissipate, eventually disappearing, and will not last long. Yi Tianxing saw, shook his head, and felt the aura that was continuously escaping from the crystal card. Obviously, the power that could not be restrained was not completely disappeared, but it would be completely invalid after a long time. It's as if trachoma is on the balloon, and the air inside will go away a little bit. In the end, nothing was left. It's really not easy. Yi Tianxing was not discouraged because of this. Such a thing is not easy at all. It is obviously impossible to succeed once, unless luck really reaches the level of anti-sky. Otherwise, it will not be possible. Take a deep breath and adjust the state. Start the second refining again. Time passes quietly in the course of this system. Unconsciously, I have tried no less than 7 or 8 times. But all failed in succession. All errors occurred during the third rune. Destroyed instantly. Let the refining process fail completely. However, it is not without gain. Every time refining, even if it fails, Yi Tianxing will seriously recall the process of failure, and exactly what went wrong. It's difficult. The rune breath of the 2 runes has an effect on the rhythm of the third rune. In this process, it is difficult to maintain control over the rhythm of the pen. How can we not be affected by the previous 2 runes? Quote. Yi Tianxing stopped writing, frowned slightly, and groaned secretly. If this problem is not solved, it is almost impossible to complete the inscription of Fu Yan. I can feel that the true dragon spirit in my body has a certain deterrent effect on the power contained in the runes. Can I increase the true dragon spirit infused into the runes and forcibly suppress the other runes? Rhythm. After a little meditation, Yi Tianxing started to write again. This time, the first 2 runes still looked very smooth and succeeded easily. In the third run, Yi Tianxing directly increased the spirit of the true dragon infused into the rune pen. Suddenly, the penchant flashed. The slightest pressure of the real dragon's breath was passed out naturally. Instantly, the breath of other runes in the crystal card was suppressed. The pen tip keeps turning. Instantly, the third rune was completely completed. Successful. It is really possible to use the real dragon's air pressure to control its own qi machine, so that they can no longer affect the next rune script. Great, I didn't expect Junlong Qi to have such a role. Really wonderful. Yi Tianxing saw that the third rune was also hidden in the crystal card, and his eyes could not help showing joy. This time, I thoroughly confirmed the speculation in my heart, and I also realized that the true dragon spirit that I cultivated really has the magical power. At least in terms of the charms, there are unparalleled powerful benefits. It's almost the last quotation mark. I hope it will succeed. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, calmed down his mood, and started the last rune of writing. After having the previous experience, I made the same way again, and sure enough, this time the pressure was even greater, but after the suppression of Junlong Qi was suppressed, it was still completely written out. Brush. A mysterious treasure flashed on the crystal card. Immediately afterwards, the entire crystal card seemed to be strange to a mysterious place. Successfully, the Tianji card finally made me refine it. This card can go directly to the star, which is great. With the Tianji card, my previous assumptions can be fully implemented. Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, and his eyes flashed with extremely bright light. The hands holding the card were trembling slightly. What this represents, it means that the future of Xuanwang village is really full of infinite possibilities. The star was truly conceived and turned into a central hub. Without hesitation, a moment's thoughts appeared in the space of Qi and Tianji. Xinghai, I have just successfully crafted a Tianji card. Did you just feel it with that crystal card? Yi Tianxing asked Xinghai in the Qi and Tianji. Yes, Dad, Xinghai just felt it. As long as you enter the message, you can incorporate the message into the star. Xinghai quickly responded. This kind of thing, she felt something in the first place. The moment she succeeded in refining the crystal card, she felt it. Okay, Xinghai, you're waiting. It won't be long before you have something to do. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. Immediately without hesitation, he turned and left. It's time to use this baby. Back in the quiet room, Yi Tianxing's face also showed a touch of expectation. There was a flash of light in his hand, and suddenly, a strange treasure appeared in front of him. It was simply a weird big box. Like a rectangular crystal coffin, of course, just described. The shapes are very similar. The whole body is full of the colors of a dream bar. Vaguely, there seem to be countless mysterious textures flowing on it, which are constantly changing and extremely strange. Universal printer. Looking at the strange treasure in front of him, Yi Tianxing was secretly expecting it. This is a unique treasure obtained from the merchants. Perhaps the merchants didn't really understand its effect before, but others don't know, but Yi Tianxing can get some information from its name. After getting it, he carefully probed it again with Wu Zishan. It was really incredible to find this strange treasure. It itself is based on technology products, but it is a treasure that was born from the power of mysterious fantasy in the world. It has itself fallen out of the scope of technology. Already a wonderful treasure. This universal printer is amazing and can print anything directly. But you must have a sample. Must be included in a universal printer. To print. Brush. Take out the refined Tianji card. Put it directly on that bizarre rectangular crystal universal printer. As soon as I put it on, I suddenly saw that the Tianji card was weirdly swallowed by a universal printer. Disappear. It can only be seen that in the crystal box-like printer, a strange light is flowing. It seems to be scanning thoroughly to detect all the information in the destiny card. It seems like a moment, but also a long time ago. On the surface of the universal printer, the pattern of the Tianji card appeared naturally. Just like a virtual screen, a piece of text quickly appears. Destiny card. Bone crystal and Fu Yuan are required for printing. A thorough analysis of the Tianji card so soon. It's incredible. In the end, Yi Tianxing's ability to accept is extremely powerful. Yu Kanshu is not too shocked by the text that this universal printer displays like high-tech computers. Immediately, I turned on the universal printer, and there was a space inside, empty. Quickly put a large number of crystal cards and a whole rune into it. Close the universal printer again. After thinking about it, I decided to print it. Inside, a strange light burst out again. Ding ding ding. In just a few breaths, I saw that a piece of crystal card was spitting out of the printer again. Aside. Yi Tianxing picked up a piece, and when he moved his mind, he felt that the crystal card in his hand had undergone a strange change. It contains unique Dao Yun and Bao Guang. Moreover, it is possible to give birth to a trace of magic. It can really print. This is just like the previous print copier. It's fast. Yi Tianxing's eyes flashed fiery. To be continued. Chapter 145, Naturalization Card. For subscription. The ability of this universal printer is simply too scary and too bad. This is simply copying directly. It will take a lot of time to make the refining process. It will be shortened in a short time. Moreover, it is directly printed. All the troubles are completely absent. It's exactly the same. There is no difference. This feeling, really terrible. In this way, it is simply against the sky. You can think of it this way. As long as you make a rune, you can put the required materials into a universal printer, and you can easily print a continuous stream of runes. As long as you have enough materials, you can print endless of the same rune. This ability is quite scary. It's really like printing. That's how bad it is. There is also a magic weapon. If you put it in and print it, wouldn't you get 1, 2, or even more? Countless. However, if you think about it, it may not be so bad. For one, this printing is not made out of thin air, but requires corresponding materials. If you don't have the corresponding materials, no matter how bad it is, you can't print. Material is a limitation. Furthermore, the items printed with the universal printer are all standard. There is no need for superb products, such as standard equipment. No fine products can be produced. It can only be said that they are used routinely. Now they are only yellow-level different treasures, and they can only be printed. Yellow class items and treasures. Moreover, the materials cannot be printed. However, good use can still produce unparalleled benefits. Especially for the current Xuanwang village, the effect is too great. Quote. Yi Tianxing looked at the printed cards. There is no blind worship of universal printers in my heart. Although powerful, there is no way against the sky. Just as it is now, the Tianji card can be printed, and you need materials. You can't provide the corresponding materials. Naturally, you can't print them. Moreover, the items printed with a universal printer are just like the products on the assembly line. They are all standard, can't get a boutique. As for the flame rune, it is made by monks. A rune can make the best flame rune. But universal printers don't work. Even if you put it in and print the best flame charm, the final print is still the standard inferior flame charm. Inferior flame rune, compared with the needless flame rune, its value gap is naturally conceivable. There is also a huge gap in power. In addition, there are top magic weapons for you to print, but the materials may not be easy to find. Precious treasures are always scarce. It is very difficult to print because of material restrictions. For example, the Taiji diagram is printed for you. Can you print it out? Therefore, universal printers have many limitations. Not too bad, but now, it is enough. Cards of heaven are printed continuously. Well, my meritorious service system can finally begin. Yi Tianxing's eyes showed joy. That night, Yi Tianxing Duan sat in the quiet room. This time, He did not do anything, and didn't do anything else, but started normal practice. Eyes closed, outside of him, a wave of heaven and earth vitality has naturally poured into the body. The impact this time was yin chao. The pulse of the foot shaoyan starts from the heel of the middle foot shaoyan rangu, followed by the same foot shaoyan to the C point under the medial malleolus, and the upper medial malleolus is 2 inches above the cross. Follow the chest, enter the lac of basin, before entering and exiting the person, go to the throat, intersect the pulse, enter the ridge and the inner ridge, the ascending line belongs to the inner ridge, and the hand, foot, sun, foot, and impotence will be in the eyes upward. This is the opening up of the third strange scripture. The development was smooth. Although it is said that each development of the 8 classics has many difficulties, the development process is accompanied by great pain. The consumption of qi in the body is huge. In particular, the 8 classics are all in one go. If you fail directly in the middle of the pulse, the meridians that were opened before will be closed again, and you will have to start again next time. Therefore, it is very difficult to shock the 8 classics without reaching a certain level, and each opening is a huge progress and growth. But now, Yi Tianxing feels more relaxed than before. The true energy contained in Shanghai is too huge. At the beginning of the shock, it opened up like a bamboo, and every time I opened up, there were a lot of meridians in the real temperature to keep the meridians growing and tough. The qi in the body is really huge. Let the process of opening up the meridians continue like a broken bamboo. The whole yin chang was opened up so easily. Moreover, after the development is completed, the speed of the body's true qi operation and even the absorption of the vitality of the heavens and the earth will increase again invisibly, and the speed of the cyclone rotating outside the body will become faster. For the monks, the development of the 8 classics is too great. The third day of Kijing 8 veins. It's coming. With the current background, there is no difficulty in impacting the Kijing 8 veins. After the yin-yin pulse is developed, it only needs to be raised for 1 night with real temperature, and it will be submerged with qi and blood tomorrow. Warm nourishment. It is enough to complete the process of warming nourishment, make the meridians thick and tough, and completely consistent with other meridians. Quote, Yi Tianxing couldn't help but give birth to a trace of joy. After the yin-yin vein was opened, it was like a dry desert. Hungry sucked in the breath of true dragons and merged into it, allowing the meridian to expand and transform naturally. This process is visible at all times. Yi Tianxing did not intend to continue to open up the 4th path of the 8 classics. Instead, immerse the mind in the body again. Nowadays, it's not just Shanghai that is absorbing the vitality of the world. Several major destinies in the body are also constantly absorbing the vitality of the world. Congenital yin and yang eyes. Dantian Ming Chao. Shiding Ming Chao. Xuanjia Ming Chao. They are all devouring and absorbing the vitality of the heavens and the earth, enhancing their own heritage. Ling Tian, which was born in Dantian Ming Chao, has also become aura with the warmth of heaven and earth, and Ling Tian is slowly growing, but this growth rate has become quite slow. After all, the Ling Tian in Dantian is not just the original size, it has undergone a great transformation. Let alone the food tripod, this is a very magical fate. Although the food tripod also swallowed the vitality of the world, it still draws the nutrients of transformation in the food. Every time you taste a food, you can eat at the emergence of a species to make the tripod more solid. This process is a kind of growth. What attracted Yi Tianxing's attention the most was Xuanjia Ming Chao. This is the fate obtained from Lu Bao. It can be seen that the vitality of the heavens and the earth enters the fate of life, and is naturally attracted by the ever-changing mist. As if you can see, the mist is constantly changing into a variety of armor and robes. Seems to be able to change various war frames. But apparently it has not been completely finalized. Still drawing strength from heaven and earth. Enhance the foundation of life and consciousness, the power of Xuanjia. Time passed quietly, unconsciously, 2 days passed quietly. In these 2 days, the entire Xuanwang village was a scene of enthusiasm. Land reclamation, mining in crystal ore. And the whole village has begun to expand. Even the wooden walls were toppled and rearranged. A large number of houses were built one after another. That efficiency is simply not conceivable by ordinary people. All are monks, strength, and physical strength. All beyond Superman. Some people cut down the big tree in the mountain forest, and the 2 picked up the big tree with the thickness of an adult. There was a smile on his face. Someone cut off the vine from the mountain. Lifting a large bundle and stepping out, it is 5 or 6 feet away. The wasteland carried a rake and waved it. Like a hot wheel, a large area of wasteland was reclaimed. Someone filled the water directly from the river with a bucket by the river and splashed it into the wasteland, which was dozens or hundreds of feet away. It seems that normal people can't do it at all. Someone can run with a big rock. Every wild root grows up like a barbarian in the wild. Demonstrated incredible power. Those women, washing clothes by the river, waved their hands and shook, and the clothes turned into a stick, which could stand up. The water above is screwed out directly. If you change it in the past, it is absolutely difficult to imagine the picture. But now, in Xuanwang village, it has become a habit. Under the leadership of Tiangong Pavilion, the construction in the village is faster. 1 gate, 2 pavilions and 6 halls have all been established. They have been put on plaques, and they have officially begun operation. Today, many people have gathered curiously in front of a newly built mansion. Go in line. Above, there is a plaque Heavenly Temple. In the Temple of Heaven, there is an open space, www.novelhall.com, there are many table cases on the open space. On these desk cases, there are rectangular screens like mirrors. These screens are not complicated, they are made of bone crystal. The card is a kind of material, the whole body is crystal-like. This thing looks similar to the LCD TV screen in the 21st century. It can be said that it is equivalent to a situation in which the Tianji card has been enlarged many times. Beside this screen, there is a card slot-like object made of bone crystals. There is a card slot in the middle, which can be inserted into the card. This thing is connected with the screen. You're Li Dafu. I'm 32 years old. I used to have a wife. I'm separated now. I'm a professional, a vegetable farmer, and I'm good at planting a variety of vegetables. Are there any errors in these messages? Jia Yukan asked to a man in his 30s. Yes, these messages are correct. The man nodded in response. Eyes fell on the screen and crystal card, showing a strong curiosity and excitement. To be continued. Chapter 146, Magical. Now that I'm sure, I'll enter these messages. Jia Yukan said with a smile, and then, facing a piece of white jade crystal plate also made from bone crystals, picked up a writing brush, infused qi, and started writing. Name: Li Dafu. Sex: male. Hometown: nationality: Xuanwang village. Age: 32. Matching: there is a wife who is missing and cannot be found. Occupation: vegetable farmer. Skills: planting, farming. Address: Xuanwang village. Merits: 0. Money: 0. That crystal plate is like an alternative piece of paper, but when writing, it is necessary to infuse the pen tip with real qi. After writing it, it naturally appears on the huge bone crystal screen standing upright, so that Li Dafu you can also see the text above with your own eyes. It's amazing. After doing this, Jia Yukan took the crystal card out of the card slot. He put it in front of Li Dafu and said, "A drop of blood is on this crystal card. In the future, this will be your identity certificate, and it is also a destiny card that everyone in Xuanwang village will have. In the future, if you get merit, you can use this. The destiny card records merits, gets meritorious points, and gets the amount of money they save." Quote. Is that all right? Li Dafu looked at Jia Yukan with shock and curiosity, listened to the arrangement, pricked his finger on the specially arranged silver needle, and a drop of blood fell on the crystal card. Suddenly, a ray of light naturally appeared on the crystal card, and the blood was absorbed instantly. Following this, Li Dafu felt that a strange connection suddenly developed between himself and Jinka. This feeling is very strange, just like his own arm, can clearly sense this crystal card. Brush. Subconsciously a thought appeared in my mind. The crystal card instantly penetrated into the body and disappeared. This crystal card is, in my sea of gods. Li Dafu's eyes widened and he exclaimed in shock. Immediately after reaching out, the disappeared crystal card appeared in the hand again. Look closely. Amazingly visible. On this card, the content written by Jia Yukan just appeared. Name, place of origin, gender, occupations, etc., can all clearly emerge. Moreover, it doesn't matter if you don't recognize the word. As long as you see it, you can naturally understand what it means. There seems to be a strange power transmitted to the mind. With the control of the mind, you can block the message that emerges on the crystal card and hide it by yourself. For example, you don't want people to know that your name is invisible. Other messages can also be hidden. But it cannot be changed. But this is already quite amazing. Well, Brother Li, this one will be your destiny card in the future. On behalf of your identity card, with this destiny card, it means that you are a member of Xuanwang village and the people in the village. You must not lose it. Once you lose it, you need to go to the Temple of Heaven to make a replacement as soon as possible. You have already used blood to recognize the Lord of the Heaven, and other people are useless. Quote. Jia Yukan said with a smile. Thank you, Mr. Jia. Li Dafu grinned, leaving while thanking him. The Tianji card in his hand appeared in his hand for a while, and was taken into his body. It's fun to play, like getting one of the rarest toys. Rejoicing, looking at it while studying. It feels completely different when held in your hands, it's a solid feeling. Even if this is a real registration, in the future Xuanwang is also a common people in Xuanwang village. Out of the Temple of Heaven, you can see that many people outside are the same. Full of novelty holding the card in his hand, while discussing, he couldn't hide the smile in his heart. It's amazing, I thought it strange before. After the Tianji temple was established, why didn't we formally register it for us? Record the household registration. I didn't expect the way to register will be so magical and incredible. Yeah, I remember that before we registered in the government and recorded in the genealogy. Many people did not register, fearing that they would pay various taxes and miscellaneous donations. Moreover, only the government knew about registration. It is impossible to issue a certificate to us. Now I can get this representative of the heavenly card. It can be directly taken into the body and appeared in Shanghai. It is incredible. Quote. However, it's convenient. You see, not only our name, but also our occupation, age, address, merits, and money. It can be displayed directly. I heard that this card, but baby, it can be connected with a mysterious treasure, and the information recorded in it will be permanent, and you can use the destiny card to trade and save money. Quote. A well-informed person said. Yeah, the merit points above can be recorded directly and can be seen with your own eyes. In the future, this celestial card, but something extraordinary, everyone must have it, everyone must have it. Good thing. If in the past, it was a miracle. It is the same as the magic weapon in the legend. It is really the same as dreaming. Quote. Yeah, since practice became a monk, I have felt that the whole world has become different. I feel that the life I am living now is completely different from the life of ordinary people. Many things I couldn't do before, it's easy to do now. It's incredible. Quote. Many people are curious and excited about the Tianji card. After all, this thing is simply amazing. When have they seen such a wonderful thing, and it is still completely their own? It's incredible. After receiving their own destiny cards, they all exchanged excitedly. Looking at the message that appears on the Tianji card, it even adds trust to each other. Everyone's identity belongs to Xuanwang village. This is enough to reassure people and stabilize their hearts. In the Temple of Heaven, the issue of the card is still proceeding in an orderly manner. Jia Yu can use the crystal plate and screen. Even the card slots are made by Yi Tianxing. They are specially prepared to handle these services and are connected to Xinguang, which can display information on it. It is not much different from modern computers. To a certain extent, for the impact of ordinary people, this is already a subversive change. What's more, if the soldiers came to receive the naturalization card, their nationality will show that they are military members. It is different from civil registration. Ding dong. On this day, Yi Tianxing was waking up from the practice, and the first ray of purple gas from the east in the morning was also absorbed into the body. The 8 veins of Qijing have opened up 6, and now only the second pulse of Rendu has not yet penetrated. Once it was opened, this third practice of Shanghai realm was truly completed. Yinwei pulse, Yangwei pulse, Yinfu pulse, impotence pulse, red pulse, with vein. The penetration of the 6 meridians makes most of the 12 canals in the body begin to be connected in series. What's worse now is the last pulse of Rendu. In just 2 days, I can completely open up the 8 meridian paths and elevate the cultivation to the 3rd peak of Shanghai. This speed can definitely be counted as 1,000 miles a day. I don't know that in the entire eternal continent to what extent can it be achieved. Quote. Yi Tianxing naturally does not arrogantly believe that no one on the entire eternal continent will practice faster than himself. In this world, there are countless adventures and opportunities, and geniuses are countless. It is possible to cross Shanghai in 1 step, and to reach the sky in 1 step. There are too many miracles in this world. As soon as I opened my eyes, I heard, in my ears, a crisp and melodic melody came. This melody was very moving. Qin Yin, is someone playing the piano or in my house? Who is it? Wenji. Yi Tianxing secretly gave birth to a hint of curiosity. Stand up and gently open the door. The aisle courtyard. I only saw the back of a beautiful Suona in the other courtyard. That back view, under the rising sun, has a very hazy and misty, long-distance artistic conception, deep and ethereal, quiet and vast. A faint scent of the book is naturally reflected in my heart. Such tranquility is like a fairy in the painting. Beauty, just the back, has made people look unbearable. This back belongs to Kai Yan. In front of him, obviously there was a piano, and it was a good piano. The strings of the hand were swept, and the sound of the piano rose to the ear. There seems to be a wonderful charm and mood in that piano sound. In listening, Yi Tianxing felt as if he suddenly appeared in another place. Standing on a towering mountain. A waterfall falls like the Milky Way, across the mountains and rivers, gently turning the rivers, and in a hurry, it makes people feel refreshed. The mountain-like mood and flowing feelings make people involuntarily intoxicated in this natural magnificence. Poppy, I do and know when Yi Tianxing turned his mind slowly. The mountains and waters and the natural scenery that I felt before disappeared. This is not true, but it is a mood. Artistic conception can draw people's hearts into it, just as if they were there. Feel it for yourself. A good song, mountains and flowing waters, at your fingertips, is already memorable and far-reaching, and the ears still have a faint echo and I can't bear to wake up. Such a piano art is really amazing. Yi Tianxing applauded gently after clapping. www.novelhall.com. The tunes are very common and may be played to such a level. The comprehension of this song, Mountain Flowing Water, has reached a quite amazing level. Brother Yi, Wenji didn't bother you. Kai Yan heard, turned around, and said softly after seeing Yi Tianxing. However, she was very happy to see Yi Tianxing's praise. Wenji, your piano seems extraordinary. Yi Tianxing's gaze fell on the guqin in front of her, and her gaze was instantly attracted to this harp. This is definitely not an ordinary guqin. Other guqins are mostly made of ancient wood, and the craftsmanship is very complicated. But the piano in front of it is made of white jade. This is a jade piano. At first glance, it looks like a work of art. Very delicate and perfect. To be continued. Chapter 147, Tianyan Mingchao. Question mark. A genius remembers, in 1 second, providing you with a wonderful novel reading. Find a monthly pass. The most important thing is that there is a vivid phoenix pattern on this jade piano. It seems that it is not dead at all, but alive. You can see the phoenix flying freely on the piano. Everything seems real. Even ordinary people can see at a glance that this guqin is extraordinary. Brush. In the next moment, Zhang Yukin directly transformed into a streamer, which instantly penetrated into Kai Yan's body and disappeared. What is it? At the beginning, Yi Tianxing thought of Yi Bao, but at this moment, he found that the Qi seemed to be different from Yi Bao. Like their own congenital yin and yang eyes, it seems to be a magical power bred by Mingchao. Just like the yin and yang lock bred by itself, yin and yang scissors are a type of magical power. Well, Brother Yi really has amazing eyesight. After Wenji started practicing and opened up the Sea of God, she awakened with no sign of consciousness in her body. This tactic of consciousness, Kai Yan heard and blinked. Blinking and speaking. Wenji, the life secret thing is the biggest secret in the hands of everyone. At the critical moment, it is the means to save lives. It is best not to tell others easily. Otherwise, if someone knows it, you may come up with a targeted method to change your life. The trick is restrained. At that time, you will be in great danger. It is better not to tell people who are not close, who are not trusted, and even people who are close. Quote. Yi Tianxing smiled and reached out to stop. Fate is vital to every monk. This is magical power. This is a life-saving card. No magical power is invincible. There is always restraint and methods. If it is known by the enemy, once it is targeted, then blind. Therefore, Mingshu is the most secret thing for every monk, and he will not tell you who is not the closest or most trusted person. Once you say it, the secret is not a secret, and even if others know, you should try to suppress the news to a certain extent. It's not a good thing to spread the word. Speak to Brother Yi. Wenji is very relieved. Kai Yan smiled lightly. What does this mean? Yi Tianxing suddenly jumped into his heart and flashed his eyes. He had told her the importance of life and consciousness, but he was still willing to say what it meant. This meant that his status in her mind was extremely important, different. almost has been summed up to those closest to you, the most trusted ones. A breakthrough in this relationship gave Yi Tianxing a hint of joy. It feels good to be trusted by Wenji. Yi Tianxing said softly, looking at Kai Yan's eyes became completely different, showing a touch of tenderness without revealing. Looking at that fiery gaze, Kai Yan could not help showing a touch of coyness, but he did not dodge. In my heart, I also like Yi Tianxing. Previously, the battlefield was swarming, pointing at the rivers and mountains, and showing every trick, so that the army of tens of thousands of Huns was so easily destroyed. Not only did she let go of her mind, but also left a shadow belonging to Yi Tianxing in her heart. In this world, that woman does not love heroes. It is as if the hero's bridge to save the beauty is very earthy, but even if it is placed in the 21st century, it is still accurate. I have to say that to conquer women, this shows heroism, powerful power, all must win. There is absolutely nothing wrong. The consciousness of Wenji's awakening this time is called Tianyan. I don't know what is going on. There is a jade chin in it. Also, it has a name itself, called Shanwang Chin. And I am still alive. In the trick, I got a sheet music. It is called 100 Birds and Phoenix Songs. It seems to be the magical power of this fairy phoenix. However, the fairy phoenix cannot play with confidence, and I need to play it. Quote. This fate is very magical. It gives birth to a musical instrument. The power of musical instruments is a melody. Without a melody, it is a decoration. There is a tune. There is a top musician. Play it. The power is enough to reach an incredible level. You can still get a music score. The 100 Birds and Phoenix Songs is not ordinary music at the first hearing, and the power is certainly good. However, this music score should not be restricted. Yi Tianxing felt a hint of surprise. It is not too unusual to derive the magic soldier from this kind of fate, and you have it yourself, but the magic soldier is derived, and a score is also included. This is extremely amazing. This situation cannot be unlimited. Well, there are restrictions, that is, this 100 Birds and Phoenix can only be played with the Shanwang Qin, other Guqin, Baoqin. There is no way to play this song. Even if it is forcibly played, it will break the strings, make no sound, and even backfire. This is an exclusive music created for Shanwangchen. Only Shanwangchen can exert the greatest power of this song. Quote. Moreover, I now only get the first chapter of 100 Birds and Phoenix Songs, 100 Birds Contend. There are other chapters later, and they must be born when life and ideology change to other levels. Kai Yan said slowly, when talking about 100 Birds and Phoenix Songs, a kind of excitement appeared in his eyes, that is, a kind of expression that a scholar reads a good book, a person who knows the art of piano, gets at this top sheet music is definitely a study of sleepless nights. That kind of excitement cannot be described in words. Well, this should be Shanwangchen, or even the magical powers of Tianyan Mingqiao itself. Other life powers are born of various magical powers, and Tianyan Mingqiao gave birth to top fairy music. This 100 Birds is the exclusive magical power you have. The method of sound attack is the top of the magical powers. As long as you cultivate to the peak, it is enough to produce incredible power. Quote. Sonic Gongfa magical powers are invincible, especially against a large wave of enemies. It is difficult to resist, difficult to respond, and very difficult to defend. This 100 Birds and Phoenix Songs is difficult to practice, and it requires equal emphasis on both piano skills and cultivation. My cultivation has no way to play the first chapter, only a part of it will be true. Run out and cannot continue. Quote. Kai Yan nodded and said, she likes this song very much, but this is the true magical power of Shanchu, which needs to be supported by Shouwei. She has just cultivated, but she is still far from being fully accustomed to it. Of course, her musical skill is enough, but it is just a gap in cultivation. Cultivation can't be anxious. Your practice of Zhu forget is the most advanced foundation building technique. Don't worry, you must lay the foundation firmly before you can have more powerful potential. There is a chance to become a strong one. Wenji, you don't look at everyone practicing in the village, but most people will stop in the realm of Shanhai and cannot break through promotion. This is a question of qualifications and potential. Quote. Yi Tianxing smiled and comforted, the cultivation itself was anxious. As if it was him, it is not impossible for him to promote cultivation. The 8 strange meridian paths, based on his cultivation, can be completely washed away in one go. There is no need to stay and warm up, but he still does not choose which radical approach. Each time he opens a meridian, he will warm up. One day. Let your foundation become solid. Wen Ji knows this, Uncle Huang also told me this. Kai Yan nodded gently. Although she doesn't know how to practice, some things still know good and bad. Of course, proper food can't be spared. This bottle is Tianli Dan. The medicine has a gentle power. There is no hidden danger to itself. Taking one tablet a day can speed up the accumulation of one's own qi. Quote. Yi Tianxing smiled backhand and took out a jade bottle. Inside it are a few Tianli Dans condensed from the Tianli aquarium. This is a good thing. It is made entirely by the condensed air of nature, without drug impurities. There is no harm to itself, and most importantly, the medicine is mild. Anyone can take it. Enhance your vitality. This elixir is still left for Big Brother Yi to take. Big Brother Yi is the master of your village. Your safety is of utmost importance. Kai Yi does not understand other principles, but knows that a leader, not only you need to have superhuman wisdom and second to none strength. If you don't have the strength, you can't suppress others. Perhaps in Xuanwang village, with the reputation of Brother Yi, no one can challenge your status, but if you face external enemies, Brother Yi, you can't show a strong wrist, and your own prestige will definitely be hit. Quote. Especially Brother Yi has already been the spiritual pillar in the heart of everyone in Xuanwang village. In the new world, everyone feels panicked. Everyone needs a spiritual sustenance. Therefore, Brother Yi, you need to become stronger as soon as possible. Tian Lan Dan, the biggest effect on Brother Yi. Quote. When Kai Yan saw Tian Di Dan, there was a daring movement in his eyes, but he did not accept it, but he began to persuade him. Her vision is very unique. The observation of the entire Xuanwang village is very negligible. www.novelhall.com. The source that can unite the people in the village now is undoubtedly Yi Tianxing, because he gave the whole village brings earth-shaking changes. This importance is irreplaceable in the hearts of every people. Especially this time, tens of thousands of Zongnus were buried in the valley, and Yi Tianxing's prestige penetrated into the hearts of every citizen and soldier. That kind of respect and expectation is unimaginable. Once Yi Tianxing has an incident, the entire village will completely collapse. The hearts are gone. Hearing Kai's words, Yi Tianxing even gave her a strong praise in her heart. When faced with treasures that can obviously improve her cultivation, she could still say such words. If it was not for him, it is absolutely impossible to say. This concern is already extraordinary. Rest assured that I still have this day, and will continue to own it in the future. Besides, in the duel with Lu Bao before, I got an opportunity that was unimaginable. Tian Tiandan is temporarily unavailable. You can take it. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. To be continued. Mobile users, please browse and read for a better reading experience. Chapter 148. Tianqi is full. He is now almost full of true energy in Shanghai. In the realm of Shanghai, it is absolutely 1,000 miles away. Any breakthrough is a matter of course. It only takes time to break through quickly. This rapid growth process will continue. It will not end until the peak of Shanghai realm. Although Tian Lan Dan is valuable, it is really not very important to Yi Tianxing now. He had prepared to use Tianlan Dan as a reward, and found the opportunity to give it to Yang Yi, Wang Dahu, and Jia Yukan, the backbone of Xuanwang village. Really? Kai Yan looked at Yi Tianxing with suspicion. However, in Yi Tianxing's face, all he saw was sincerity. Thank you, Brother Yi. Kai Yan thought for a while, and finally took the bottle of Tian Lan Dan. There is a village chief in Xuanwang village, but there is still a village chief's wife. I don't know if Wen Ji, you want to be the village chief's wife. I hope that this person is you. Yi Tianxing stared at Kai suddenly. My eyes asked directly without hesitation. This sentence has been extremely straightforward to show his own heart. When he first saw Kai Yan, he already had a good impression. Of course, the first impression came from Kai Yan's stunning appearance, and his unique temperament and spirituality made Yi Tianxing feel incomparable. Heartbeat. There is also a talented student, known as a talented girl, who deserves it. In the Hun camp, she can seize the opportunity and escape. Being able to give Tian Lan Dan, she also excused to persuade, for his sake, such a woman, informed, reasoned, gentle, and intelligent, this is definitely a rare woman. In the face of Kai Yan, Yi Tianxing is naturally not indifferent. In this kind of thing, he knows that he doesn't have much experience and hasn't tried dating before, especially in this troubled world, he doesn't have much leisure and elegance, let him go to love, all he can do is to show his mind directly. Just say love. If you do and say it's no matter how long it takes, there is no good result. Yi Tianxing knows his heart very well. He wants Kai Yan. He will regret missing such a strange woman. So, at this moment, say it without hesitation. This sentence was obviously beyond Kai Yan's expectations. He never thought that Yi Tianxing would confess his heart suddenly at this time, expressing his mind, so straightforward, and at the same time, he looked seriously at Yi Tianxing. His eyes did not dodge. I do. Looking at Yi Tianxing's unreserved sincerity, Kai Yan suddenly smiled, blinked, and smiled sweetly. Say those 3 words crisply. Yi Tianxing asked directly. Kai Yan answered very directly. I won't make you regret this life. Yi Tianxing's mouth showed a smile, which was a happy smile from the heart. When he stepped forward, he stretched out his arms and held Kai Yan in his arms. When the tender body in his arms was held, a trembling and stiffness appeared. But then it softened like water. Snuggle your body over. Kai Yan's heart could not help but give birth to a strong sense of security, as if to find a safe haven, with the feeling of reliance. That feeling made her heart very solid. This down-to-earth made her fascinated from the bottom of her heart. From being robbed by the Huns, completely losing touch with his father, to experiencing various tragic scenes, he witnessed various unbearable pictures with his own eyes. In this new world, almost everything is strange. In this environment, what she lacks most is this sense of security. No matter how outstanding a woman is, she hopes to have a shoulder to rely on, to shelter herself from the wind and rain. Feeling this security, Kai Yan completely buried his head in Yi Tianxing's arms. Holding the perfect body in her arms, a fragrant fragrance of virginity was naturally transmitted into the nose, and there was a burst of enthusiasm in her heart and unspeakable satisfaction. The emotion inside is difficult to describe. In the eyes of others, it is the emotion between men and women, but Yi Tianxing comes from modern times, and Kai Yi's identity has an inexplicable satisfaction and joy in his heart. After confirming the relationship, Yi Tianxing took Kai Yi to play in Xuanwang village on the same day, and walked along the river. While talking some intimate words. From time to time, all kinds of interesting things told by Yi Tianxing made Kai Yi laugh. The entire Xuanwang village, also in a cheerful atmosphere, changes with each passing day. The army recruiting has huge gains, recruiting thousands of people, and all of them are young and strong, bringing the number of troops in Xuanwang village to an alarming number of 5,000. Of course, this is coupled with the soldiers and soldiers who already existed. This time, 2,000 or 3,000 recruits were recruited. In the barracks, there is intense training every day. According to Yi Tianxing and Yang Yi and Wang Dahu, they studied the training methods negotiated together, and they stood in line, took a positive step, and stood in military posture. Don't use your energy to sharpen your will under the hot sun. The formulation of military regulations is to take turns participating in urban defense, fight against beasts, and fight against birds. It began to fight in batches into the jungle in the valley in batches. Hunting ferocious beasts, so that every soldier and soldier personally experienced the ***** killing process. Everyone, in the shortest period of time, sharpened an iron blood of soldiers. After practicing, iron blood Shiki, one by one began to make rapid progress. Veterans lead recruits, not only the atmosphere in the army becomes harmonious. In addition, Yi Tianxing also specially proposed that before the break, let the soldiers gather together and tell their own stories to each other, so that the distance between everyone's minds is constantly getting closer and more familiar. Xuanwang village expanded again. Large open spaces were enclosed within the boundaries of Xuanwang village. The rebuilt city wall is no longer a separate wooden wall, but civil and wood are fused together. The scaffold is made of wood and filled with a lot of soil. How to incorporate soil into a wooden wall? This is hard to beat the people in Xuanwang village. There are many people in the village who are awakening to the destiny. Among them, there are monks who awaken the destiny. They can directly control the soil and fill it into the wooden walls. Tough. Every day a large section of the city wall rises. The wasteland has been reclaimed, and various seeds and grains have been planted. Even vegetable seeds and so on. Some of these vegetable seeds are from Yi Tianxing, and some are from Yushang. But there are not many varieties, they can only be regarded as ordinary varieties. In this new world, being able to have vegetable seeds is already a luxury, and it is something to be happy about. Those seeds have germinated and started to grow. The vitality of heaven and earth in the eternal continent is really too strong. With the vitality of heaven and earth, the speed of plant growth is much faster than normal. Each one breaks the limit. With sufficient nutrition, some cabbages can be eaten in just 1 week. It is beyond imagination. In previous times, many things can be called miracles. Qi and Tianqi. Yi Tianxing stood beside Tianqi, looking at Qi and Tianqi, only to see that in Tianqi, the great pool water had begun to cover the entire Tianqi. Moreover, more and more air transport is constantly emerging from Tianqi. Secretly, there are signs of starting to overflow Tianqi. In Xuanwang village, a series of developments have let the Qian accumulated in the Qian Tianqi unknowingly rise in succession, and the speed of derivative is extremely amazing. Every building, every facility, every order will make the air transport in Tianqi grow amazingly. In particular, people's hearts are completely condensed on Xuanwang village. Even if they are all monks, the accumulation of luck will become more rapid, and even the growth and breakthrough of the people in the village will bring a lot of luck to the village. Unconsciously, the entire Qian Tianqi is actually full. I didn't expect it would be so fast. It's too fast. Yi Tianxing looked at the golden carp constantly swimming in Tianqi. This lucky gold carp has become very huge. It's very amazing, and the breath is even more spiritual. Even he could not think that Qian Tianqi could be filled in such a short time. This means that the direction I take, the road, is right now. Practice is not an individual becoming an immortal, but everyone is like a dragon. Practice is not just for the convenience and strength of a small number of people, rather, it should be convenient for the general public to apply the skills in practice to life. Follow the path of civilization. Quote, the reason why the pool of water in Tianqi skyrocketed was only when the sky card was officially issued and the star network really started to launch. Now look at the void in that crystal ball, and one brighter faint tiny star emerges. Each star represents a common people in the village. Among these stars, their basic messages are recorded, and subsequent messages are also recorded. A star represents a person. If one day, the stars have completely lost their light, it also means that someone has fallen and completely lost their lives. It can be said that they have the same effect as the soul lamp in Shanman. There are now more than 10,000 stars flickering in the sky of the star network, www.novelhall.com. Xinghai stands in the void, and the stars rotate around her, as if set against a goddess in the stars. Peerless. The Tianqi is full, and the luck has reached the limit that the village can reach. It is time to be promoted. Up, it is the town. However, when I think of promotion, my eyelids are jumping like a meditation. What terrible danger lies in it? What the asterisk is going on? Quote, doing other things, thinking of something else, is no problem. But as soon as I think of Xuanwang village's promotion, I will immediately have a mysterious feeling, that is, it is as if you are facing the disaster of extinction. Yi Tianxing could not help but shroud a haze in his heart. This is not normal. Moreover, it can be estimated. Once promoted, you may face unimaginable danger. To be continued. Chapter 149, Yongquan. Question mark. A genius remembers, in 1 second, providing you with a wonderful novel reading. For subscription recommendation, several tickets are available. What kind of danger is there in the promotion? There is no precedent for these things. It is really difficult to understand the key point. If it is dangerous, where it comes from. It is really a headache. Yi Tianxing shook his head, lamenting secretly in his heart. The eternal continent, all the rules of heaven and earth, are unfamiliar to all. Village, town, city, king city, imperial city, holy city, city, heaven. This is a process of transforming from small forces into large forces and top forces. But whether it is from village to town or town to city, this is a fundamental transformation, and for its own power, it is a huge leap. The impact of this breakthrough is inestimable. The village was built by gas transportation, and promotion was connected with gas transportation. This is not an ordinary village, a small town. You can't just point at a city, you can say that this is an ancient city. Of course, in the eyes of ordinary people, it is an ancient city, but it is just an ordinary city, without the ability to gather luck, or even all kinds of strange abilities city. The Qian city is truly a city, and that is the real fairy city. It can have unimaginable power, unmatched by ordinary cities. Therefore, ordinary cities can be built casually, but the real fairy city cannot be so simple. There must be some unusual taboos or dangers in this promotion, otherwise, it is impossible to make him feel dangerous in succession. And, once the promotion begins, this danger may arise. However, the Eternal Continent is now afraid that all villages have no information to face this situation. Moreover, with such a wide interval, information exchange is inconvenient, and it is difficult to know what is happening in other villages. Almost equivalent to an alternative closure. There are good and bad, there are opportunities for growth, but it is difficult to communicate. Even if someone promotes the village to a small town, there is no way to understand the mystery. You can only rely on yourself to face it. It seems that we need to wait a bit more. First increase our own strength, the whole village's heritage is increased again. Become stronger. The heritage that Xuanwang village managed to accumulate can't be destroyed for some reason. There are tens of thousands celebrities. Quote. Yi Tianxing took a deep look at Qian Tianqi. To be promoted at any time. As long as he is willing, he can start the promotion now, but the dangers that accompany the promotion are possible without any clue. This kind of thing can't come at the slightest impulse. This is the death of thousands of people in Xuanwang village. He cannot make a hasty decision. This is not the past. There was nothing in the past. Naturally, everything can be spared, but now, it is necessary to be responsible for the entire Xuanwang village and for the people in its hands. Can only be stable, not radical. There is still time. I can make the village's strength stronger. The village nowadays is undergoing transformation every day. Every day, the strength is increasing. Those craftsmen in Tiangong are said to be studying new types of weapons. Once successful, the strength of the army will increase again. Quote. Yi Tianxing secretly suppressed the curiosity of that danger in his heart. These things can't be easily thought about now. Anyway, as long as you are not willing, the village cannot be promoted. It doesn't hurt to take a break for a while. Come out of Qian Tianqi. Yi Tianxing returned to the quiet room again. You have to be promoted to the 4th level of Shanhai. Only by becoming stronger can you cope with all dangers. In the previous few days, he had completely completed the development of the 2nd pulse of Rendu. These 2 meridians are more difficult than the first 6 meridians to develop. However, facing ample background. Still easily broken. In a flash, all the meridians in the body are all connected and integrated into one body, like a large net, running around the body. The speed of infuriating movement is instantaneous, without any hindrance. The feeling is like the shackles on the body are completely broken in a flash. As long as you are willing and your mind is moving, the true energy can appear in any place you want in an instant. After opening up the 2nd pulse of Governor, Yi Tianxing can enter the 4th place of Shanhai at almost any time, but he is always nurturing the body meridians and polishing the sedimentary foundation again. Shanhai Realm. Gathering Qi, Shengquan, Huahai, 3rd Order, 9. Condensate the vitality, open up the 12 cannons, and open up the 8 classics. These processes are the gathering of energy, and the opening of Rendu's 2nd pulse also means that the practice of gathering energy of the 1st stage has reached the end. Moving forward is the Shengquan. This process, in the past, it was called Congenital Realm. Already can be in all directions, the combat power is infinite. The Shengquan stage is a wonderful level. In the eyes of many people, the 2 supervisors in the body are connected, and they can feel the vitality of the outside world. Absorbing the vitality of the world can make oneself energetic. The truth, in the navel eyes, a sea of God is opened up, and the physical body is connected to the outside world's vitality at the level of gas gathering. Not worth mentioning at all. Why is it called Shengquan, not congenital, here? Naturally has its mystery. It is not so simple to unite the fountain. This level, if there is no true inheritance, no name of Gongfa, ordinary monks would not understand the mystery. But this level is also very critical and has a lot of difficulty. If it is not possible, it is difficult to break through to the 1st level of Shengquan. Sitting on a futon, Yi Tianxing took a deep breath, and there was a touch of confidence in his eyes. Immediately put the mind in the Sea of God. Run the Yulong Tianjing, and visualize the ancestral dragon picture. Yi Tianxing's whole heart is immersed in Zulong, as if he is the Zulong himself. Brush. Zulong opened his eyes at once, and the eyes of the dragon flashed with endless majesty. A dragon groan followed, booming out of Shanhai, appearing in the meridian channels. In the vast and meridian rivers, the heavens and the earth are transformed into colorful rivers, and the streams are endless and endless. Throughout the body. When Zulong entered the river, he walked away from the water in an instant and shuttled forward quickly. Wherever I went, countless mysterious dragon patterns emerged from the meridian rivers, which made the rivers wider and thicker. Zulong walked along the Meridian River and constantly shuttled around Zhou. In a blink of an eye, swam all over the body. Then a dragon groaned, vigorously drilled into the meridian channel where the foot Shaoyan kidney meridian is located. Along the river, all the way through the wind and waves, in an instant, came to the area of the sole of the left foot. Expensive. Opening his mouth, Zulong issued a cheerful dragon groan. Facing an area, I suddenly opened my mouth. Brush. I only saw that in a void area. Suddenly, under this suction, a cloud of chaotic mist was sucked out stiffly, and the mist gathered together like the same unreal spring eye. Constantly changing, seems to be broken at any time, to disappear and hide. This is the essence contained in Yongquan. The true origin. Yes, this is the origin of Yongquan. Yongquan point. In the practice, it is valued by countless monks, and is located on the sole of the foot. This position is not simple. The sole plate represents the earth. The moral of Yongquan is to be down to earth and accept the atmosphere of the earth. Moreover, Yongquan point is a life trick. The destiny that exists in every monk. Invisible life. Although it exists, there is no way to cultivate your life and knowledge, and you still have no way to develop it. A man has 2 feet and 2 Yongquan life tricks. It was the source of the Yongquan life trick in his left foot that was pulled out by Zulong this time. This is the power of the origin. Once it is towed away, the Yongquan point on the left foot will never be transformed into the Yongquan life, because the power of the origin itself is gone, and it is naturally impossible to give birth. No. In the realm of Shanhai, the true essence of the first order of the Shengquan is to draw the power of the origin of this group of Yongquan's life into the Shanhai, and transform it into a Shengquan in the Shanhai. But the only problem is that you must be able to draw this source of energy into the Sea of God. Yongquan exists on the soles of the feet, and it is inextricably linked to the earth. To move the source of Yongquan, it is tantamount to fighting the pulling force from the earth. It's like your big rock. You have to forcibly bring it up to the sky. The more you leave the ground, the heavier the rock is, the more powerful it will be. Like gravity, magnetic traction. What is needed in this process is his strong will. This has nothing to do with one's own vitality. Once his will is not strong enough, he will feel endless pressure, and he will not be able to bear it, and he will let the original energy go back. There is no chance for this process to stop and come again. Only in one go. This is a threshold. Whether one is qualified to be promoted to Shengquan depends on his own will. Not even this will, naturally ineligible for greater power. Expensive. Zulong suddenly saw the chaotic color of the original spirit, www.novelhall.com, and became extremely happy. He opened his mouth and bit it, as if biting a dragon ball. The body was swinging, and along the Meridian River, quickly swam to Shanhai. Sure enough, it is not that easy. This group of source air sends a strong traction and pulling force, just like the string tied on a kite. Pull the source air back again. This is a tug-of-war battle. The pressure is really great. Quote. Infused into Zulong is Yi Tianxing's own will. At this moment, Zulong is him, he is Zulong. At this moment, I can't use my qi, but I can only rely on Zulong to bring this group of qi back to Shanhai. I didn't feel it at first, but as the distance from the original Yongquan point got farther and farther, a kind of strong pressure was transmitted from the source gas. There is the same kind of return to his original position. Something was ripping at his own body. Every inch you move forward is a test of your own will. Withstand this pressure completely with the will of the mind. To be continued. Mobile users please browse and read for a better reading experience. Chapter 150, Shanhai Realm 4th. Question mark. A genius remembers, in 1 second, providing you with a wonderful novel reading. The network is down, you can only go to the internet cafes. Rush rush. Yi Tianxing screamed in his heart, rushing forward with the spirit of the origin, and the ancestral dragon entered the water. It was like a god's help. Even if there was no true energy, the speed of the dragon's body was not slow. Let the pressure of the qi from the source weaken to the extreme. But the invisible pressure is really uncomfortable. It's like swimming, and it's in a rushing river, heading upstream, and every 1 meter swimming forward is a great challenge. For the consumption of the body and the test of will, it is quite scary. Extreme challenges. Many monks are in this kind of level, which is difficult to support. In the end, they can only stop under the Shengquan and stay in the triple realm of Shanhai forever. This is a threshold, which will completely obstruct those who are not determined to become stronger. Abandon the forest of the strong. This pressure has not caused Yi Tianxing to fear and flinch. It can even be said that it is completely within the tolerance range. His childhood experience has sharpened the will of an extraordinary person. You can see all kinds of strange things from an early age. For the tempering of spiritual will, it is unimaginable, as long as you don't be tortured to death by that terrible feeling. When you grow up, you will have a transcendent will. How many things have been difficult to shake his will? So, in the Meridian Channel, Zulong biting the spirit of the source, he left for Shanghai. It's not slow at all. I don't know how long it has been in the past, Zulong has taken the spirit of origin, and instantly dived into the Sea of God. Once again lingering over the Sea of God. Then, Zulong made a peculiar move. Opening his mouth, he spit out the air of origin. Following this, Zulong gave out a dragon's groan directly, and opened his mouth with a chaotic color of God's light. Countless mysterious runes were flickering and got into the essence of the group. Wow, primal chi changes at a rate that is visible to the naked eye. Rolled violently. Constantly changing, condensed into a chaotic colored illusion Spring Eye. It's the size of an adult's head, and it seems to be rising. In Spring's eyes, it seems that it has an invisible hole that connects to a mysterious place. A stream of heaven and earth vitality is constantly flowing along the passage. Swarm out, all the vitality of the heavens and the earth naturally poured into the eyes of this illusion Spring. As Zulong swallowed, he swirled around Zulong's mouth, and a large amount of heaven and earth vitality emerged. He was sucked into the body by Zulong, and when he spit it out, it turned into a true dragon. Into the entire Shanghai. This process seems to be endless and never stop. Kuan, who is consuming the vitality of heaven and earth at all times, is derived from Kuan's eyes and turns into a mist of fog, lingering in the sky above the Sea of God. Even the speed at which the meridians in the body absorb heaven and earth's vitality seems to be driven by Kuan, and it becomes faster again. This process is amazing, which means that the vitality of heaven and earth can naturally converge on the Sea of God. Constantly accumulate, as long as you visualize it, you can quickly refining. Moreover, the true energy in the body is consumed. These heaven and earth vitality can replenish the consumption of the true energy at the first time, so that the true energy can be restored again. You don't need much buffering at all. Staying true to life can keep on fighting and fighting. Call. When Yi Tianxing's original source gas turned into Spring Eyes, he couldn't let out a long spit in his heart. An unspeakable ease came to my mind. Moreover, I felt instinctively that the connection between myself and heaven and earth became closer. In Kuan's eyes, it was an invisible channel. A passage that connects the body with the outside world. This allowed the rate of absorption of heaven and earth's vitality again soaring, far faster than before. Okay, the first step of Shengquan is really unusual. Although the vitality of heaven and earth could converge in the body through the meridians of the whole body, most of them were concentrated in the channels of the meridians. It can also pull the heaven and earth vitality in the meridian channel to enter Shanghai together. Under this subtle influence, the heaven and earth vital energy gathered in the sky above Shanghai is constantly flowing. Once the true energy is consumed, it can be quickly replenished and restored. Quote, the true energy condensed, as long as it is not displayed like a maggot initiation, or directly warms the meridians, and is completely consumed, even if the true energy is exhausted, it only makes the true energy extremely unreal and still exists in the Sea of God. If you replenish the vitality of the world, you can directly recover. If it was originally, you need to wait for the true energy to gather the vitality of the world and add it back a little. But now, there is a large amount of heaven and earth vitality in Shanghai itself. Natural energy can be consumed and it will be immediately restored by the heaven and earth vitality. Be true and endless. This transformation, as long as the true energy is not consumed too quickly, can continue to the extent of true energy. It can be said that after the condensate emerges and before it has not condensed, it is completely two worlds. This transformation is really amazing. The unity of Shengquan has finally reached the fourth level of Shanghai. The next step is to continuously train the eyes of Shengquan, so that it can be condensed from illusory, a little bit of condensed into substance. This process requires a lot of heaven and earth vitality, and true energy warm-up. It also takes time to temper. This is only the fourth priority of Shanghai. Quote, Yi Tianxing sighed secretly, the fourth to sixth of the Shanghai realm is almost always transformed around this spring. The fourth is to draw the spirit of the source of Yongquan's life and knowledge into a spring eye, but this is an illusion spring eye. The fifth is to condense Kuan Yin into a solid entity. Transformation from illusory to real. Sixth, that is a more mysterious process, so that Kuan Yan truly has the supreme core. Into a truly inexhaustible fountain. Every transformation, the changes produced are extremely amazing. In addition, he believes that with his strong background, the huge vitality in Shanhai can definitely be achieved in the course of Wen Yongchang's eyes. It's almost incredible. In particular, the tempering of spring eyes is not so simple. Each method has its own unique method of tempering. With 1,000 kinds of exercises, the spring eyes tempered are also different. After all, everyone's anger is different. Yi Tianxing uses the real dragon's gas to quench it, and it is the true dragon's eye. There must be different myths. Moreover, each person's Yongquan life is full of strength, and weakness. The size of the condensed spring eye is also different. The spring eye is small, only the fist is large, and the head can be large. This contrast is stark. In particular, when pulling the source gas, once the source gas fails, the source gas returns to the Yongquan cave, and the source gas will be lost in the process. At that time, the spring eyes condensed will become smaller and weaker. At present, the spring eye condensed by itself can have the size of an adult's head, which is quite amazing, and it can be called the top spring eye. Okay, Shanhai is the fourth most important thing, and it won't be long before it should be able to smoothly transform to Shanhai the fifth. The fourth to the fifth is a subtle process. It's not difficult, it just takes time. It's not difficult even for the sixth level. The only level is the fourth level of condensed springs. After passing this level, the road ahead is almost smooth. Quote. He was also very excited to be able to break through to the fourth place of Shanhai at one time. In particular, this direct connection with the vitality of heaven and earth makes me feel as if there is an illusion of fluttering in the wind. Your body will float. An invisible shackle was completely removed from his body. Now running wildly, there may even be a possibility of short-term emptying. This is because the Shengquan has condensed in the body, and the connection between itself and the outside world's vitality has become closer. The ability to stay briefly even in midair. This feeling is very wonderful. Each breakthrough is a different world. One scene at a time, one scene at a time. It's so amazing. Just as Yi Tianxing continues to strengthen its own strength. At the moment, deep in the valley, in a jungle. The fierce beast and the fierce bird uttered a fierce roar, and there was a stinging sound, and the ***** smell was lost in the air. The giant tiger killed the strong wild boar, bit his neck, and blood splattered. A vulture came down from the sky, culled it, and grabbed the stout antelope from the ground. Then he dropped from high altitude and fell to death. A group of rats emerged from the ground, and the corpse of the beast that died in the slaughter was stiffened within a few seconds, forming a skeleton. Teeth marks can even be seen on the bones. There are wolves fighting with the tigers. Here, almost no beast has not undergone metamorphosis. Under the warm support of the heavens and earth, even ordinary beasts are undergoing metamorphosis, the body becomes huge, the strength is greatly increased, and even the awakening of blood vessels is begun. The viciousness in the body was completely awakened and became very cruel. The ability to reproduce is also amazing. Every day I experienced a fierce killing. Only the strong can survive. Deep in a mountain forest, www.novelhall.com, suddenly, a ground began to collapse without warning, and a dark hole appeared. The hole was like a huge group of rats burrowing underground and digging through the ground. The dark hole looked deep and terrible, and a hint of black gas escaped from the hole. A huge tiger appeared nearby. After seeing the hole, he opened his eyes and looked at it for a few moments. Then, his hair exploded and stood upright. With a pinch in his tail, he turned quickly and ran out in the distance. There seemed to be some terrible beastly monster hidden in the black hole, and he didn't dare to pause, just turned and ran. Fear arises in the heart, and terror can be seen in the eyes. The feeling of the beast is always the most acute. They can feel a deadly threat to themselves. They will subconsciously avoid those dangerous areas. This feeling comes from the instinct in the blood. In the darkness, the hole became deeper and more frightening. But weirdly, no terrible beasts rushed out of it. To be continued. Mobile users please browse and read for a better reading experience. Chapter 151, Kimming Lamp. For subscription monthly pass. However, I can feel in the mouth of the black hole that the black gas in it has been strengthened a little bit, and it has become richer a bit, as if it is accumulating strength and waiting for the moment of explosion. Already there was black gas, which appeared above the entrance of the cave, but the wind did not disperse. It always condensed above the entrance of the cave, and spread a little bit to the vicinity. Roar. The nearby beasts instinctively felt a sense of irritability. Whether it was a bird or a beast, they instinctively began to migrate outward, away from the place where they were irritable. That's not right. The cry of the beasts and birds outside this evening is too strange and too frequent. Is there any big guy nearby? Yang Yi patrolled the city walls, his eyes looked deep into the valley, and the violent birds flew in a panic. Many of them came directly to the village, but they were both guarded by the 2 arrow towers the archer shot down on the spot. Even if he was not shot dead, he was shot and escaped. No chance was given to those birds to attack the village. There are also fierce beasts hitting the village, blocked by the city walls. Obstructed by an archer outside the village. The ***** smell was lingering. This kind of situation that the beasts and birds hit the village can be said to occur every night, even during the day. But it is far less frequent today. In this case, something is wrong. Yang Yi, who spent most of his life on the battlefield, keenly smelled an unusual breath. However, the situation is not so bad now that the impact of the beasts and birds is within the defense capabilities. I did not go to notify Yi Tianxing. What must have happened in this valley? Yang Yi frowned secretly. But even this is useless. At present, it is impossible to go deep into the valley to investigate. Even monks are equally vulnerable in the jungle. If they are not careful, they will be buried inside. In this case, with the strength of Xuanwang village, there is no strength to explore deep into the valley. At least you need to reprecipitate. Let everyone's practice be promoted to qualify for other regions. Explore a little bit and incorporate it into the boundary of Xuanwang village. This night was not peaceful, but fortunately, the strength of Xuanwang village has long been extraordinary. As long as it is not a large number of fierce beasts, only a part of the army is needed to protect the security of the entire village. Especially for the 2 arrow towers, as long as the beasts and birds approached, the first time they would induce induction and attack instantly. When they woke up in the morning, a large number of people saw pictures of the bodies of a large number of fierce beasts and birds. Tiangong Pavilion. Early in the morning, Hu Bin showed joy, holding a large box, and quickly hurried over to the mansion where Yi Tianxing lived. Cosmin, please let me know. I want to meet the host. When Hu Bin arrived, he saw Cao Zhengchun and said immediately. The prince is having breakfast with Miss Kai, but I can tell you about it. Cao Zhengchun frowned slightly. He didn't want anyone to disturb Yi Tianxing to eat with Kai Yan at this time. These days, he has seen very clearly that Yi Tianxing attaches great importance to food and eating. I don't know other hobbies, but the hobbies for food are true. Every meal, as long as there are conditions, is cooked by Lai He himself. Moreover, as a steward, his vision was rather spicy. How could the matter between Yi Tianxing and Kai Yan hide his eyes? Even if it hasn't been announced yet, even the fool can see it. In his mind, Kai Yan has long been regarded as the future mother. I wish they could be together earlier. If they could give birth to offspring sooner, it would be more perfect. However, when Hu Bin came, it was obviously not a trivial matter. These days, under careful observation, he has already discovered that Yi Tianxing pays special attention to the craftsman Tiangong Pavilion. Cao Zhengchun, who has been in the right for decades, naturally knows who should stop and who shouldn't. Turn around and come back soon. Master invites you in. Cao Zhengchun nodded. Speaking of which, he led the way in the front and took Hu Bin to the other courtyard. Yi Tianxing and Kai Yan ate in the gazebo in the other courtyard. Breakfast is cooked by Lai He. It's not complicated, just boiled a pot of porridge. This porridge, too, is called Sanxianjun blood congee. It was Lai He who used a whole number of hours to make it. Almost from the middle of the night, he had already been brewing. The ingredients used are also unusual. Sanxian is green vegetables, cabbage, shallots. The most precious thing is blood, which uses animal blood. The blood of the beasts last night. The beasts and birds continued to hit the village and were shot dead. Lai He went there to collect the blood of hundreds of beasts. They were processed in a unique way, gathered together and turned into one pan sheng blood. Then choose the fresh rice planted from Yishanxing's Dantian Mingqiao. The grain planted in Lingtian has already been harvested once. The rice grown from Lingtian is not only full of grains, but also contains a hint of aura, which is not only sweeter, but also has a taste that is far beyond its original flavor. Although it is not linguling mi, it is much better than ordinary grain. Some of it is used as grain, and now it is planted in the cultivated fields. Has sprouted. Part of it was left by Yi Tianxing. I don't know how Lai He did it. There was no fishy smell in the blood of the beast. On the contrary, after boiling into a pot of Sanxianjun blood porridge, there was a strange fragrance which made people appetite when they smelled it. Take the Sanxianjun blood porridge in front of you, put it on your mouth, take a breath and drink it. An incredible burst of umami is presented in the taste buds. Constantly spread. Moreover, after a hot gas entered the stomach along the junzu porridge, it naturally spread out and the entrance of the junzu porridge was melted. Umami has penetrated every part of the porridge. It also contains an amazing aura, punching through every pore of the body. This hot gas is constantly emerging. Stimulates every cell in the body. Really the ultimate enjoyment of food. This Laihe's cooking skills, I will not be inseparable from him in the future. If I do not eat the food he made a day, I will feel a little bit worse. The 3 fresh blood porridge, really a rare dish. Not only the taste is delicious, the aftertaste is endless, but it also contains a huge amount of essence. The monk drank it, which can quickly increase the cultivation and strengthen the blood. Ordinary people drank it and could cure all diseases. The most important thing is that the porridge is very mild. Not as violent as elixir. Quote. Yi Tianxing sighed after drinking a large bowl of Sanxianjun blood porridge. Well, Chef Lai's cooking skills, Wenji has never encountered a chef who can compare with him before. He can make gourmet food. Each kind is delicious. It is almost the same. After drinking the Sanxianjun blood porridge in front of her elegantly, Kai Yan blinked and said with admiration. A bowl of hot porridge made her face red and tempting. Master, Hu Bin has come quickly, holding the box, and seeing the image of Yi Tianxing and Kai Yan drinking porridge, his face apologized. Well, Hu Bin, have you eaten breakfast? If not, eat it here. Zhengchun, go get another pair of chopsticks. Yi Tianxing saw Hu Bin and said with a smile. No, the subordinates have already eaten. Hu Bin said quickly. You rushed over in such a hurry, holding a big box. It seems that you have made something good in Tiangong. Yi Tianxing looked at the box he was holding in his hands, and his eyes were curious. Well, yes, the protagonist. Tiangong has just developed a few new items, thinking that it might be useful to the protagonist, so he rushed over and reported the protagonist. Hu Bin said with joy on his face. I'll take a look at this. Yi Tianxing nodded with a smile. Kai Yan is also full of curiosity. Click. Hu Bin didn't have any extra actions. He put the box on the ground and opened it directly. The one that appeared first was a palace lantern. This lamp is strange, it is a lotus lamp. The wick of the palace lantern turned out to be a strange ball. Looks like a crystal ball. But there is a groove in the crystal ball-like thing, and it seems to be put in the same thing. This one is called a Kiming lamp. The lamp holder is not surprising, but it was carved into a lotus seat with some carvings, but this crystal ball is made of bone crystal with a groove on it. This groove is it's used to put spar. As long as you put spar, this lamp will light up. Quote. As Hu Bin said, he placed a thumb-sized spar on the groove, and the spar perfectly matched the groove. Brush. Immediately after, I saw that the spar was put in. Immediately, the crystal ball lit up, emitting a soft glow, and began to shine. The light is soft but not dazzling. Moreover, the brightness is very high, and in a dark room, the roots can shine like daylight. That kind of picture, Yu reading is very shocking. A lamp that can be lit directly without the need for lamp oil. It uses the power of Fuyu, which uses the energy contained in the spar to urge the Fuyu power in the crystal ball to emit light. The Fuyu in it should be a kind of Fuyu that mainly focuses on light. Think of ideas. Quote. Yi Tianxing saw a flash of light in his eyes. He has refined the Tianji card, and he is very clear about the refining of this kind of thing. At the moment he saw it, he had already guessed the mystery. However, the amulets that can be illuminated are not ordinary amulets, not even in the basic runes. Flame charms are okay, but the light will not be so soft. There is also the idea of replacing energy with spar. In the eyes of ancient craftsmen, it is definitely an act of advancement. When Xuanwang village just embarked on the path of spiritual practice, when all the people practiced, someone could do it. This shock cannot be avoided by Yi Tianxing. In particular, he remembers that no one has now redeemed the basic runes in the Tibetan scripture pavilion. What does this mean? Chapter 152, Rune. For subscription recommendation, there are 2 monthly tickets. Close black lens bracket. This means that some people in the village have already obtained rune-like books and runes from other sources. This means that in the village, some people have previously acquired some books and even valuable combat skills. Of course, Yi Tianxing didn't want to collect all the exercises and precious books in the Tibetan Classics Pavilion, but to be interested in who could get these precious exercises. You can get such treasures when the new world opens. The luck of itself is extraordinary. It can even be said that it may have a status of extraordinary status before it will have luck, and have the chance to get such a chance. Maybe it's another hidden talent. A magical lamp, a novel idea, it can light up without lamp oil, and the light emitted is not dazzling at all, and I don't know how many times better than an oil lamp. In this way, at night, you only need one can light up the room like daylight, and it won't hurt your eyes with oil lamps. Kai Yan looked at the lotus lamp in front of him, blinking with surprise, and said, "If such a lamp can be popularized, it will definitely be a gospel for the people in the village." Now, although everyone is gathered together and lives, they are also a house, several people live together, but sooner or later, they will be separated and will be independent. With such a lamp, at night, the night will not be dark. Night is no longer lonely. Readers will not be fouled by oil lamps, they can still read and write in the dark, without hindrance. What's the name of this lamp? Is it named? Yi Tianxing looks farther. Lamps are a means for humans to fight against darkness. They can bring light, hope, and security in the dark. Dispel my fear of darkness and the unknown. Whether in ancient or modern times, lamps are an integral part of humankind. Now some people have combined fuyu with spar to create such a magic lamp. This kind of lamp has a very wide range of lighting. If it can be made into street lamps and distributed throughout the village, the whole village can be turned into a nightless village. Even in the dark, the lights are bright. Like the day, the scene can definitely become an extremely beautiful landscape. Moreover, in the future, the entire village will grow stronger and more prosperous. Even at night, it will become lively and extraordinary. The popularity and congregation will be incalculable. I haven't named it yet. I came here this time and wanted to have a name for this lamp. Hu Bin saw Yi Tianxing attach importance to this lamp, and endless joy appeared in his heart. What is this? This is the achievement. They can't do anything else in Tiangong. What they can do is make more useful treasures. The lamp is the guide in the night, and the haven in the dark is the longing of humanity for the light. Like the star in the starry sky. Since there is no name, it is better to call it the lamp. After a little thought, Yi Tianxing said slowly. With the birth of this lamp, Xuanwang village will enter a new era. At least, at night, as long as lighting lamps can be placed in various areas, there can be no dark areas in the village. Some weird beasts are also difficult to sneak in. The cohesion of the people's hearts will also be stronger. Qiming Lantern, good name. After Hu Bin murmured in his mouth, he said cheerfully, "Thank you for your name. I will call it Qiming Lantern." Lord, look, this is the second treasure. Hu Bin lowered the Qiming lamp and took out a battle arrow from the box. This arrow of war arrows is made of fine iron, and the body of the arrow is made of wood. It is extremely sharp. Once shot, the penetration is very amazing, but now, it can be felt that this battle arrow seems to contain unusual power. Concealed, it may break out at any time. There seems to be a violent force hidden in this battle arrow. It won't be that your heavenly mansion pavilion will also fuse Fu Xuan and the arrows to fuse them together. Flicker. After Yi Tianxing was promoted to the 4th place in Shanghai, his feelings for these became stronger. The Lord's eyes, this battle arrow is really blended into the strength of Fu Lu, and the battle arrow and Fu Lu are fused together, not only the edge of the battle arrow, but also the power of Fu Lu. Let the battle arrows have the destructive power of Fu Yu. Let the arrows cause more damage. It can greatly enhance the strength of the archer. Quote. This one is a rune and arrow that incorporates the flame talisman. When shot, it can be turned into a rocket. After hitting the target, it can be turned into flame to ignite it. Hu Bin excitedly introduced Yi Tianxing again. The arrow in his hand was Fu Jian. The fusion of the two, the power can be said to be directly superimposed to a rather amazing level. Fu Xuan's casting is limited in distance. Shooting out the battle arrows is strength and matches the sharpness of the battle arrows. The strength of the bow and arrow is also related. What may be terrifying is that the power of the battle arrows is not high, unless it is a marksman. But distance is not a problem. Has a good bow, has great strength, top eyesight. You can shoot thousands of miles away with a single arrow. Now the battle arrows and Fu Xuan are fused and complement each other, which is enough to make the power of battle arrows change dramatically. This is terrible. Okay, your Tiangong Pavilion is a great achievement this time. After a while, you will go to the merit hall to receive 10 points of merit. is multiplying. Quote. A delighted look flashed in Yi Tianxing's eyes. Compared to the Kimming Lantern, the significance of this rune is not under the Kimming Lantern at all. This is a big killer that can directly enhance the combat effectiveness of the army. An invention that enhances the village's heritage. Hu Bin brought more than one type of rune arrows this time, including ice arrows, flame arrows, wind arrows, and armor-breaking arrows. Can already be counted as mature runes. Moreover, others need to refine it again and again, but Yi Tianxing does not need it. There are universal printers. As long as one is made, the material can be put in. A lot of runes can be printed quickly. The material of Fujian is not particularly precious, it only needs pig iron, wood, and fuyu. These things are not difficult for Xuanwang village to get. This means that at least these 4 runes can be printed quickly and have a large amount of storage. It's not scary enough to use it. Logistically, there is absolute guarantee. Thank you for your reward. When Hu Bin heard it, he immediately showed a happy smile. However, I want to go to Tiangong and meet the master who developed the Kimming lamp in Runjian. I believe Hu Bin will not be unwelcome. Yi Tianxing said suddenly. Hu Bin heard, but his body was shocked, and he secretly said, Lu Shi, I know that if you take out these things, your talent can't be hidden. I can't escape the eyes of the protagonist. Master Lu, your talents belong to the entire Xuanwang village. Don't blame me as an apprentice to force you. Tiangong is so valued by the protagonist. What is needed now is a real talent to take charge. Let Tiangong's status never fall in the heart of the Lord. Tiangong Pavilion, this is the hope of all artisan technicians. The child was really afraid that he could not support the burden. Only then did you show the enlightenment lamp and rune you made to the protagonist. If you are angry or hit or punished this time, I will admit it. Yes, Kimming Lantern and Fujian are both from Lu Shi's handwriting. Only Lu Shi will set his sights on the direction in which Fulu and various skills are integrated. Hu Bin is unwilling. Their craftsmen, in the eyes of the nobles, were just seductive skills, and they could not stand on the surface at all. But now it can be valued by Yi Tianxing, and his status has changed dramatically. He definitely does not want this status to change again. He wanted to make Tiangong's status accepted and praised by the world. He couldn't do this, so let really talented people do it. This person is only Lu Shi. That's why this decision is made privately. Of course, welcome, Kimming Lantern and Runjian are indeed not made by me, but by my mentor. However, I don't know what the mentor is. I just call him Lu. His skill, it's a magical skill. However, I always only like to silently study all kinds of new skills. Therefore, I have never been known by the protagonist. Quote. Hu Bin said quickly. That was his purpose. How could I refuse? Wen Ji, let's meet with this Lu Shi together. Yi Tianxing said to Kai Yan with a smile. The relationship between the two has already broken through, and holding hands naturally progresses every day when they are alone. Feelings increase sharply every day. www.novelhall.com. Wen Ji is also very curious, so talented, should be a respected expert. Kai Yan nodded, showing curiosity. Naturally agreed. Kimming Lantern and Fujian stayed behind. Hu Bin led the way. Yi Tianxing left the mansion with Kai Yang and headed for Tiangong Pavilion. Along the way, the people in the village saw the two people walking side by side, with a sincere joy and blessing on their faces. Many people like Yi Tianxing and Kai Yan walking together. Only a talented bazaar woman like Miss Kai can be worthy of being the head of the village. It would be more perfect if she could give birth to a son earlier. Then the foundation of Xuanwang village could be succeeded. Some villagers murmured with a smile. The village chief should have more branches and leaves. The inheritance of this foundation will last forever. However, everyone is now cultivating everyone, life expectancy has increased greatly, and even after becoming stronger, it will not be a problem to live for thousands of years. I hope that the village chief can live forever. Some villagers sighed. To be continued. Chapter 153, Mechanism. For subscription recommendation, monthly ticket. Close black lens bracket. This is the thinking of the ancients. Even becoming a monk cannot change this deep-rooted idea. Even in modern times, this idea also exists and is something that has been imprinted in the blood. Inheritance, incense, is the most important in the eyes of Yan and Huang descendants. In the ancient dynasty, an emperor, if there were no sons and daughters under him, the whole river and mountains could not be stabilized, and the chair under the buttocks was not stable. There is no way for the human heart to truly condense to him. Why? It is not because the emperor has no children, it means that this foundation has no heirs, and the human heart is naturally unstable. Chaotang will naturally be turbulent. After all, no one knows that if you work hard, in the future, it will directly become a bubble. But if you have a son, then it will be different. If the Alagifal emperor is dead and there is a son, the interests of everyone can still be guaranteed. Your own efforts will not be wasted for this. Therefore, in the dynasty, the emperor's son-in-law was called the state. An emperor without sons and daughters is unsteady. This is no exception. That kind of situation will cause too many people to have undue ambitions. Of course, Xuanwang village does not have these things at present, and the son-in-law is only part of it. After all, they are all monks. As long as they are not accidentally fallen, they have lived for a long time. The importance of Zishi has been weakened a lot, but it cannot be denied that it still exists. This is a resonance from the depths of the blood. Yanwang blood, this is the most important thing. ZZ is the continuation of one's own life. Especially now that it is in a troubled world, no one can guarantee to really live. The people in the village still hope that Yi Tianxing could spawn children at an early date. In the eyes of a lot of people's goodwill, although Kai Yan was shy, he did not dodge. Freely followed Yi Tianxing and walked forward. Before long, he came to Tiangong. The construction area of Tiangong Pavilion is similar to that of Tianji Hall. Walked in. In front of it was an empty courtyard. In the open space, you can clearly see that a large number of artisans are making various items. Some people are sculpting, not wood, but bone crystals. There are animals and figures. Every piece is lifelike, looks like art. Someone is building weapons, trying to forge weapons by the method of forging and forging. Carpenters are creating wooden beds, tables and chairs. There are also people trying to make a machine beast. For example, in the yard, there is a wooden horse made of wood. In appearance, it is almost as much as a real horse. But getting it to move is not so easy. There are also tinkers who make bamboo dragonflies. Staring at the bamboo dragonfly, thinking hard about how the bamboo dragonfly flies, and also taking people to fly together, this was stimulated by the picture that the shaman was taken away by the bamboo dragonfly inspiration. I want to find out how to use the bamboo dragonfly. Many artisans are thinking hard about innovation. I want to combine skill with practice. Moreover, when encountering difficult problems, they are gathered together to discuss each other and start brainstorming together. Solve the problem. This atmosphere is very harmonious, and the idea of innovation is very strong. Yi Tianxing was also very happy when he saw it. Only by exchanging ideas with each other and without a portal, can we continue to innovate, collide with sparks of wisdom, and inspire different inspirations. It is possible to create miracles. Bringing artisans together is definitely a wise step. After seeing Yi Tianxing coming, the artisans in the compound greeted each other. Some people immersed themselves in their thoughts and turned a deaf ear to the outside world. In this regard, Yi Tianxing did not have any blame. Such a large shelf, not to mention, is itself a characteristic of craftsmen. Hu Bin came to a house and reached out and knocked. There was no response. Lu Shi should now be immersed in his creation. At this time, it is difficult for the outside world to disturb him. Hu Bin said a little embarrassed. It doesn't matter, the real masters, once they start to create, are all devoted, completely forgetting. It is possible to see Lu Shi's creations with his own eyes. Yi Tianxing said with a smile, he was very clear about the nature of this kind of technical people. As for my adoptive father and mother, that is also the work of the Research Institute. When I work, I sometimes forget my family. Many times, she is taking care of Zhao Ziyan's life. Okay. Let's go in, but it's better not to make a sound. Once you interrupt your thoughts, Lu Shi will be angry. Hu Bin nodded and said, open the door carefully, and try not to make a sound. This is not difficult for anyone who is a monk. I walked in and saw it. An old man was sitting at a table case. Holding various knives in his hand, he was continuously carving on the wood to make parts one by one. Some things don't seem to be eye-catching. In the eyes of laymen, they are simply worthless things, and even in front of them, they may say something, what the hell. But you can see that each part was quickly polished in his hands. Coupled with the original already polished. For a moment, I saw that the old man's hands moved quickly, and parts were constantly assembled together. The original seemingly unrelated parts are perfectly assembled together, just like the picture when the firearm parts are disassembled and quickly combined into a complete firearm. A moment later, I saw a vivid bird appearing in front of him. The bird opened its wings and seemed to be flying high. The beak, neck, body, wings, and claws are all lifelike. Exquisite as art. Moreover, I don't know where the old man moved, and the flying bird even staggered and walked a few steps. Mechanism. Yi Tianxing saw a sudden contraction of his pupils, and secretly exclaimed in his heart. The birds that were turned into parts can be moved forward. This picture is full of shock. Before that, those things were just a pile of wood carved and polished parts. How amazing it is to be able to move forward like life. One word that can come to mind is organ mechanics. The most mysterious technique in ancient China. The organ arts can even be said to represent the most brilliant crystallization of wisdom in ancient times. According to ancient records, in the spring and autumn period, Lubin once created a wooden bird that could fly in the sky and took him to fly in the sky. Moreover, it can land safely. During the Three Kingdoms period, legend has it that Zhuge Liang made a Trojan horse and a cow. Trojans can run, buffaloes can go. These seemingly incredible things are the principles of organ mechanics. It is a pity that these things have been completely lost in the wars. These crystals of wisdom were eventually wiped out in the long river of years. It really is something to sigh. The organ technique can make countless people's incredible organ objects. However, no one paid much attention to it at that time. The nobles even regarded it as a singularity technique, and they didn't get on the stage and spread it to their ears. It was just a joke. You know, the wooden bird made by Lubin can fly directly without using gasoline. It is the crystallization of skill and wisdom. It does not know where the principle of power comes from and how it came. Whether it is constant or expendable. If no energy is needed. That means that as early as the spring and autumn period, Lubin had already made perpetual motion. This possibility is enough to scare a bunch of people out. What technology can conserve energy in modern times? The existence of perpetual motion. Faced with this, all those engineers must kneel. For many people, organ mechanics are mysterious. Machine mechanics, not simply designing small organs, even machine mechanics, are only the most superficial part. The real subtlety is to make things really impossible. Even if it was Yi Tianxing, he was taken aback by Lu Shi in front of him. He even knew how to use organs. This is a truly amazing person. Organization. Kai Yan could not help but make a cry. Who is it? Lu Shi slowly turned around. Although he looks like an old man, his face looks extremely red and tender, his skin exudes a soft light, and his hair is black. It doesn't seem to be too old. Obviously, it is already renewing the vitality of old life. A pair of eyes, but showing the weather-beaten, full of life experience, vicissitudes and ups and downs. It turned out to be the village chief and Ms. Kai. www.novelhall.com. Lu Shi glanced at Yi Tianxing and Kai Yan, and a glance appeared in his eyes. Then he put his eyes on Hu Bin and uttered a scold. You gangster, just sold me like that. If you knew, you should be kicked out of the school. Speaking, it looks like a beard and a stare. However, it can be seen from his tone that he is not really angry. If it weren't for the apostle, Yi wouldn't have known that in the village, there is still a shocking talent like Mr. Lu. I should thank him, otherwise, I would not be able to see Lu Shi is so superb the mechanics. Quote. Yi Tianxing placed his gaze on the organ bird and said with a smile, in the past, Lubin made wooden birds that could fly to the sky. At that time, the organ technique was almost Tao. The gods were almost their gods. After the Lubin magic skills were lost, the organ techniques were it is difficult to achieve the level of the wooden bird flying to the sky. However, I think that if you use the amulet in the magic of the organ and cooperate with the spar, there is also the possibility of flying. For example, on the wings of the flying bird, the inscription "You the wind charm" should allow this bird to fly. Quote. Lubin magic is difficult to reproduce, but it may not be impossible to find another shortcut. To be continued. Chapter 154. Master of Heavenly Court. Recommended monthly ticket. Not everyone is Lubin, with such unimaginable skills. That incredible mechanism, but on the path to spiritual practice, there are entirely new alternatives. Fuyu is a rune, which is an overview of the laws of heaven and earth. Contains heaven and earth charm. With all kinds of magical powers, combined with traditional techniques, there will be endless changes like chemical reactions. Yi Tianxing has experience in refining Tianji cards. I have also witnessed the refining principles of Qiming Lantern and Runjian. It is naturally clear that the research direction of this Lu teacher in the front is also to combine runes with technical life. A very incredible thing, it can even be said that it is difficult and unimaginable. It requires inestimable wisdom to make the organs undergo qualitative transformation. But if runes are involved, that is to find another shortcut to transform and innovate organ mechanics in another way. Yi Tianxing can be sure that the research direction of teacher Lu must be the way to combine organ arts with Fuyu. Faced with such talents who are fascinated with the study and research skills, if they want to communicate, they must go to their hobbies. Incorporating the royal wind rune can make this bird fly, but how can it control its direction? An uncontrolled organ cannot be regarded as a complete organ. The artifacts of the organ are matched with various parts to achieve organ. Animals can operate flexibly. If the organ lacks flexibility, its existence is of little significance. Lu Shi frowned slightly. The original purpose of the birth of organ surgery was to allow human beings to fly freely in the sky like flying birds with the help of tools, to fly to the sky, and to land. Imitating animals and birds, hoping to use the skill of organs and crafts to create organs and animals like animals and birds. If it is so clunky that it can't even make a U-turn and control the direction, then it is not really the top organ beast. If the runes are integrated into the organs, the power of the runes is extraordinary. If they can make the organs have extraordinary powers, how to control them is a big problem. An organization that is not under control cannot be regarded as a truly mature and complete organization. In the practice world, there is a technique called martial arts. Martial arts can control martial arts freely, attack and kill opponents, help yourself to do various things, and control monks and objects. If you can master martial arts, or to make a rune, to control the animal, but it is a breeze. You can be as flexible as you want. It is no different from real animals and birds. Quote. Yi Tianxing's heart turned, and then he said. He has heard such marvelous magic arts, and many fantasy worlds exist, and the eternal continent from the fusion of all realms will definitely exist. With the magic of martial arts, it is absolutely easy to control the organs. Thing. However, it is obviously not an easy task to get the Kui Lei Ji Shu. At least for now, there are no books about exercises in the Jingjing Pavilion. Even if there is no corresponding rune, it is not the rune that you can have in the basic rune. Yeah, the rune, you can use the rune to control the organ. However, where can I find this rune? There are no such things in my rune scriptures. Lu Shi heard, his eyes brightened, and he refocused. Photographing thighs, countless auras emerged in my mind, colliding together to produce a bright spark. If there is a charm, and it is integrated into the organ, then the organ can be transformed into a maggot, and the control as it wants is as convenient as its own hands and feet. In that case, it is possible for organ surgery to flourish. Make incredible changes. However, the only question is what the runes are like. I don't know at all. There is no sign, no matter how you think, it's all empty talk. Mr. Lu, even though we do not have Xuanwang Village in Xuanwang Village now, I believe that as Xuanwang Village continues to grow, it will definitely have these, and the collection in the Tibetan Classics Pavilion will become more abundant. But if Xuanwang Village becomes stronger and grows up, it requires a large number of talents like Lu Lao to work together to achieve it. Only when the village becomes strong can it be qualified to compete for more resources and resources to patronize all villages. People of the common people. Quote. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. The meaning of the words is not esoteric, this is a very simple truth. Only by making the cake bigger can we all eat together. Now everyone is a member of Xuanwang Village. If the village's strength is not strong, even if it encounters the treasure of the heart, it will be impossible to get it. The world is so cruel. Only when the village becomes strong and so strong that no one can shake it, can it keep its most important things and its closest people. But this point, Yi Tianxing alone can't do it. Human energy is limited. A good man needs 3 gangs. To grow, he needs a lot of talents to work together. To grow rapidly. The truth in this remark, he believed that Lu Shi in front of him could definitely understand. From his eyes and face, it can be clearly known that this Master Lu is not really a person who is totally indulged in various skills, knows nothing about the outside world, and has no experience. I have a deep sense of life. From the eyes, it can be seen that he has a story. Of course, Yi Tianxing did not dig into the story of his story. He just hoped that there would be another talent in the village to help him develop this Xuanwang Village completely. What is the purpose of your establishment of Xuanwang Village? Suddenly Lu Shi's face was straightened, his gaze was straight towards Yi Tianxing, with a look of scrutiny. Yi Tianxing felt a shock in his heart, knowing that this was the test from Master Lu. In this world, there are always kings and ministers who choose the masters. Talented people, no one can easily surrender, they have their own outlook on life, their own thoughts. As long as the eyes are facing each other and the radio waves are facing each other, then naturally everything will go and we will be happy together. Survive, Yi Tianxing said directly without thinking. I set up Xuanwang village, the real purpose is to survive. In this troubled world, in this already completely new world, live and truly survive. Let myself survive. To let more humans survive, my strength alone is nothing. Only if everyone brings the strength together can we really survive. Better to live. Quote. So, I set up the Tibetan scripture pavilion, I opened up the practice of meditation, and I let the people in the village practice. I hope that everyone will become stronger. I hope everyone is like a dragon, and everyone can fight for their survival. Even if you don't work hard for your own life, that's dead, and no wonder anyone. Quote. I hope that one day, Xuanwang village can stand in the forest of the peoples, so that people can have the opportunity to look at them. This world has long been not a race. Any alien can become the protagonist of the entire eternal continent. Definitely not just the battlefield of human race. He sincerely hopes that one day, even thousands of races, can think of Xuanwang village when they think of human race. Lu Shi's eyes flashed, and he looked at Yi Tianxing's eyes. In those eyes, he could not see any dodging, any falsehood, and some were only sincere from the heart. Nowadays, I can't think of anything else. What I can do is to work hard to survive. This is the #1 issue facing countless people throughout the eternal continent. Even survival cannot be guaranteed, so it is not qualified to say any other ambitious. But at the same time, Yi Tianxing also expressed his ambitions in his chest. It's a good theory of survival. It's true that Xuanwang village is far from safe. It is an unthinkable danger outside, and you can't get a glimpse of this valley. You don't know how much danger is hidden. You have not been the development trend of the village affects their own judgments. It is fair luck and has the opportunity to become a hegemon of one side. Quote. Lu Shi smiled and said, moreover, Hu Shaozi has sold his husband. I am still living in this village. The first thing is that the husband is also powerless. It is you who ascend to the heights and take the lead to resist the fierce beast, build a village, otherwise, I am afraid the old bones have little chance to survive. I owe you a life. I have found them all. If I do anything, I'll probably be remembered by you in the future. Quote. Great, Master Lu, you finally plan to go out of the mountain. After hearing Hu Bin's steady nature, he couldn't help showing joy. I'm going to settle accounts with you later. Lu Shi couldn't help humming his beard and staring at Hu Bin when he saw Hu Bin. Luo Lu is willing to help each other out of the mountain, then my Xuanwang village is really a tiger. Yi Tianxing said with a smile. Said in advance, www.novelhall.com, the old man doesn't care about other things, I stay in this Tiangong pavilion, help the village to do some logistics, repair the table, make up a wall or something. Don't look for me in politics, I don't move things. I will fiddle with these wooden handles. Lu Shi said to Yi Tianxing. Obviously, what he meant was that he would not blend into other things in the village. What he wanted to do was to introduce his own skills in a new way. Invented more and more amazing objects. And Yi Tianxing, the most wanted, is the same. The most important thing is to do what you can. He himself wanted a talented man to take charge of Tiangong. Now, no one in the whole village can be more suitable than Lu Shi. The Tiangong pavilion itself is an indispensable and important part of the village. Without the various inventions and innovations of the craftsmen, the entire civilization cannot be developed. I originally intended to make you the old master of Lugong Pavilion. Lu, if the old man doesn't want to bother with other things, let Hu Bin do the daily chores. As long as you concentrate on developing more treasures that are beneficial to Xuanwang village. For example, treasures like Fujian can directly enhance the strength of the entire village. Quote. Yi Tianxing said decisively. To be continued. Chapter 155, Lushan City. Whether it's a luminaire or a rune, this is something that can bring a huge change to the village. Such a thing can bring earth-shaking changes and it can be imagined. Such a thing, Yi Tianxing wished to have it every day. Regarding Lu Shi's choice, he agreed without any hesitation. Master Lu's talents are more in Tiangong, creation and invention. If they get to other positions, they will stifle this kind of talent. In view of Yi Tianxing's knowledge, it is naturally impossible to do that. It was killing chickens to get eggs, not even killing chickens to get eggs. Well, then the old man took the position of the master of the Tiangong pavilion. Master Lu met his master. Master Lu got up, nodded, and gave Yi Tianxing a small gift. Can be considered as the minister. Lu old does not need to be courteous. In the future, the development of the village will still depend on Lu old. Yi Tianxing said with a smile, and knew in his heart that Lu Shi should not be his name, but what his name really was, it didn't matter much. What he needed was his talent. He didn't want to know what he was originally called or what he was. All he wanted was Lu Shi. Everything else is secondary. These old men will naturally plan well. Lu Shijun nodded and agreed. Lao Lu, the kind of illumination lamp you gave out, I plan to turn it into a streetlight and arrange it in the whole village. When the night comes, I can light up the whole village and see if there is any place that needs to be changed. Then Yi Tianxing started talking to Lu Shi about setting up street lights. This is not a small matter for the current village. How to change, you need to study carefully with Master Lu. This is not anxious. Since being the owner of this Tiangong pavilion, it is the person from Xuanwang village. The old man was looking forward to seeing the fortune, and the whole village was full of luck. Qian has reached a stage. However, over the village, I don't know when a layer of black gas will appear, and there will be blood in the black gas, which is an ominous sign. I am afraid that calamity will soon come. Quote. Lu Shi said with a dignified color on his face. There was a twinkling of light in his eyes, and his eyes were unusual, awakening and despairing. Get a pair of hopeful eyes. You can see the air transport in all beings, and you can observe the change of air transport between heaven and earth. Although the eye of hope is not very powerful now, the luck of Xuanwang village can be seen. Formally, seeing Xuanwang village's air transport has reached a tide, it has reached one. In the future, there is great promise, and the air transport contains the image of golden carp. The golden carp is not an ordinary carp, but a heterogeneous species that contains the blood of the dragon, the leaping dragon gate, the variable dragon, and the golden carp. Similarly, Yi Tianxing also has tremendous luck. Strong luck is definitely the only person he saw. Even when observing in secret, he felt a sting in his eyes. It is already an invisible backphasing. Objects that cannot be easily probed. But before, he found out that he didn't know why, a layer of black gas appeared over Xuanwang village, especially, there was a trace of blood in this black gas. This is not a good sign, but a bad one. There must be some disaster to the whole village. Lu Lao, you can look up and realize that there will be a great disaster in Xuanwang village. This is something that Yi Tianxing did not expect. Lu Shi still has this ability. Hope is not that simple. The supernatural power of hope, in history, is the ability that some real power can have. Many people rely on the technique of hope to choose Qianlong for investment and investment. The end result is countless. Wang Qi is able to directly see the invisible luck, can distinguish good and bad. Now Lu Shi said so, Yi Tianxing also had to believe. Coupled with my previous induction, I can already be sure in my heart that there is indeed any danger that is hiding in the heavens and the earth, hiding around this village but has not been motivated. This seems to lack a trigger, and this opportunity, Yi Tianxing to be sure, it must be the moment when the village is promoted to the township. Is this a test of heaven and earth for the promotion of the village? If it is a test, what is it? It will not be a situation where a beast monster strikes the village. Yi Tianxing murmured secretly, although he has never played a game before, he still knows a lot about the game. Knowing that there are often some monsters siege in the game, the current situation, but also he could not help but have a thought that this kind of thing might happen. This kind of omen has actually appeared before. However, this bad omen should be related to the promotion of the village. Now Xuanwang village has reached the extreme, and the accumulated luck can be promoted to the township. But every time I want to be promoted there will always be a bad omen, and now it seems that there are really unknown dangers hidden in it. Quote. Yi Tianxing was not affected, and he was still confident in his eyes. He said, the promotion is not urgent. Since there is danger, then I will completely improve the village's strength. Reserve a large amount of military supplies, fuxi, knives, bows and arrows, fujian. Enhance your strength as much as possible. Even if there is a real beast surrounded by a village, you will still have to kill a piece of armor without leaving a blood flow. Quote. The emergence of rune arrows greatly boosted Yi Tianxing's heart. In this case, the old man will hurry up and add a killer to the village. After a little thought, Lu Shi said flatly. Not to mention the earth-shaking changes that are taking place in Xuanwang village, the strength is skyrocketing almost every day. Moreover, the universal printer can be said to be fully operated, and a large number of runes and arrows are continuously printed out and quickly transported to the military camp. Put in various areas for storage. It's all about preparing for the coming war. This move also greatly increased the atmosphere of cultivation in the village. Many people have made breakthroughs in succession, one by one for the surge. But now, I see it. It is not too far away from the valley, or even the former Hun camp, in a mountain forest several hundred miles away from the original camp. A homeless man in tattered clothes, with thousands of people staring at the scene in front of him, was stunned. What appeared before me was a city. This city is actually located in a mountain forest, surrounded by towering trees. At a glance, the city is completely surrounded by trees. Traces of creeping vines can be seen on the walls. There is no normal road around. The whole city passed a sign of brokenness, and even a large hole was broken in the gate. Boss, why is there a city here? No matter what, we go in. It is definitely safer to go inside the city than to the outside. We have died too many brothers. Brother Chen, there are fierce beasts everywhere. We must stop and rest, otherwise we must not survive. How can you cultivate yourself when you encounter the city? Quote. Yeah, a lot of people are killed by ferocious beasts under exhaustion. Everyone is tired and thirsty. It can't be continued. Many people saw the city in front of them and could not move immediately. In their eyes, to see the city, it is better to see the haven than to wander in the mountains and forests. These people are not others, but a group of people led by Chen Sheng. After rushing out of the Hun camp, in order to disperse the Hun's attention and choose to flee, Chen Sheng brought a group of people, and Wu Guang also stayed with a group of people, walking away in different directions. In the process of escape, it can be said that it has gone through hardships. There were originally thousands of people, and now there are about 1,000 left. In the wild wilderness, there are too many dangers. Those beasts and birds are not what they can resist at all. Moreover, these days, Luli almost died while walking. The number of people is constantly decreasing. The casualties never stopped. Facing beasts, many people will die if they fight hard. Moreover, the stomach is often hungry. Speaking of which, that is miserable. Fortunately, I still got rid of the followers. Now you just need to find a safe place to stay, but the jungle is not allowed. The experience in the jungle these days makes them very clear how terrible and dangerous it is in the jungle. Be sure to find a suitable location and build your village. Settle down. Chen Sheng said to himself secretly in his heart. Let's go in, but be careful, this city appears in the mountains and forests, it's definitely not that simple. Chen Sheng waved and said, go ahead and walk towards the gate. Lushan City. On this city, the name of the city emerged. On the wall, there were people watching. However, it can be seen that there are not many soldiers in the inspections, and most of them are ordinary people. One by one, his face was yellow and thin, and he saw the panic and despair in his expression. Moreover, the number is not large, it seems to be just a vigilant person. Seeing the figure of Chen Sheng leading someone outside, www.novelhall.com, the people on the city wall saw a glory in their eyes, but when they saw a group of ordinary people with shabby clothes, their glory was a little no more, regaining that desperate look. Not even talking, leaning directly on the wall, a look of despair. Chen Sheng and they easily entered Lushan City through a hole in the gate. In the city, you can see that there is a run-down scene everywhere. A large number of houses collapsed, the ground collapsed, all kinds of shelves were crooked, and they were split and burned. In the erected pot, the porridge is being boiled. The rice grains in the pot can be seen and counted clearly. It is not too much to say that the soup is too small. Many people in the city are lining up in front of the cauldron, holding bowls. Seeing Chen Sheng coming in, even a repulsive gaze appeared in his eyes. It seems to be saying that there are more people eating and eating. To be continued. Chapter 156, Old Beggar. Monday, please recommend collections. Close black lens bracket. But weirdly, when people in the city looked at Chen Sheng and others, they had a kind of compassion, an expression as if they saw a dead person. Nothing moved. There was also no welcome, exclusive move. It's like seeing someone with the same expression as himself. Chen Sheng frowned slightly, and his heart sank secretly. The atmosphere in Lushan City was so low, it was so depressed. This is not normal, nothing is normal. There were a lot of people in the city, but there was a look of lifelessness. Many people sit directly on the house. A look of despair on his face. Lao Zhang asked, why are the people in the city so deadly? Without saying a word, is it because the food has been eaten? After Chen Sheng frowned slightly, he grabbed an old man who had just got a bowl of porridge from the cauldron and asked. Afterlife, you shouldn't enter the city. After entering this Lucian city, you don't want to leave alive. The old man drank the porridge in the bowl and drank it. Then he looked at Chen Sheng and the people behind him, and shook his head with a sigh. You are not the first to enter the city. Many people came before from around Lucian city. But after coming in, you can never go out again. Are you not attacked by the beast and monster when you are close to Lucian city 4 or 5 miles away? Quote. How do you know? A big man behind Chen Sheng asked in amazement. Indeed, when they were near Lucian city, there were no beasts or monsters attacking them. They thought they were lucky and did not encounter any beasts. It now appears that things may not be what they were supposed to be. That's because those fierce beasts and monsters dare not approach Lucian city at all. The old man shook his head. That's not very good. Then the whole city should be very safe. How can everyone have this expression? Some people said puzzled. You think too simple. The reason why those beasts and monsters dare not approach is because here, there are more terrifying monsters. Let those monsters all dare not enter the area of Lucian city. The old man's face showed fear, and his voice was shaking. Chen Sheng was shocked and knew immediately that their troubles would be greater this time, and they might be more dangerous than before in the Huns' barracks. What monster is so powerful? I think there are more than 100,000 people in the city. Don't you be afraid that the monster will fail. Someone said with some disbelief. The population of this Lucian city is not small at all. People can be seen everywhere, but most people's faces are in despair. In addition, in the city, there are residents who originally existed in the city of Lucian, but also people who later gathered in the city. People from all dynasties and generations have different clothes and dresses. They can even see many people with short hair and urban clothes. It seems no different from modern people. But the despair and fear emanating from them were equally strong. Even for external changes in their own situation, their ability to accept is worse than the ancients. These are modern people from many fantasy worlds. Compared with the ancients, the number is only a small part. Even if many modern people ask themselves that their thoughts are more advanced than the ancients, they have a fart. But here, there is no electricity, no mobile phone, no firearms, even if standing on the commanding heights of thought, in the troubled times, they are facing fierce monsters and various dangers. You have eloquence, you have ambitions. But there is no strength, who do you go to? Who you? In troubled times, the strong can dominate everything and have prestige. It's useless at all. Compared with strength, the ancient strong men are simply crushed than those white-collar workers who have already been in a sub-health state in the city. Most of these people are unable to pick shoulders and legs. Especially in Lucian city, it is like a nightmare. It can't be dealt with, there is no way to counter it. It's a monster. When the old man heard it, his eyes showed fear. The whole body trembled at the thought of the monster. The face returned to a dead gray color. Obviously, there is no hope for escape at all. Let's take your fate. The monster has blocked the entire Lucian city. As long as someone dares to escape, he will be immediately eaten by that monster. And every day, that monster will choose humans from the city as blood food to devour. One day will die, dozens of people, but as long as they don't run away, unless it's time for the monster to eat, there is no danger. There are granaries in the city, and the grain in the granaries can support for a long time as long as you save food. Quote. The old man shook his head, then walked towards an open space, leaned against the wall, and stared blankly at the sky. Chen Sheng and others heard an inexplicable fear and disbelief on their faces. No one had thought of it. I was very happy to see a city before, and thought that there would be a place to land in the future. He was delivered to the monster himself. I don't believe that those words are shit. I don't believe that there are really any beast monsters that can trap the whole city. Can it still make people leave? Are the monsters so smart? We are not peaceful. Come in. I'm going out and see if the monster knows. Quote. A common man following Chen Sheng burst out drinking. Originally hunted and chased by fierce beasts, I was so angry that I got into the city and even encountered this situation, it suddenly broke out. Burning in anger, without even thinking about it, he turned and walked towards the gate of the previous city. Brush. When he moved, the eyes of many people in the city couldn't help focusing on him. Obviously, this move was unexpected. But there is another good news. For some people, Chen Sheng's arrival was even a little bit happy, After all, the monster only eats a dozen people a day, and there are outsiders coming in. This kind of risk can be shared. Maybe it's not your turn. Maybe you can live a few more days, waiting for the turnaround. The man was very fast. He went straight through the hole in the gate and came out of the gate. A look of leaving Lucian City. Brush. But as soon as the man left the gate of the city and stepped on the outside land, he saw that the ground under the common person had cracked a dark hole without any warning, and even the reaction was too late. The man just dropped go in. There was only a scream of screaming, and the original hole was blocked again by the soil and disappeared. The ground is still the ground. The soil is still soil. But a person disappeared so easily. You know, that person can't live anymore. Huh. When Chen Sheng and others saw it, they could not help taking a breath on the spot. This kind of picture was really terrifying. A living man was buried in the ground like this and disappeared. Life is so fragile. See it. After you come in, don't even think about going out. It's death when you go out. You don't know what that monster is. Once you leave, the ground will suddenly crack, and people will be brought into the ground, never to return, coming. The old man shook his head and sighed. Not only is it outside the city, it is also not safe inside the city. Holes may appear on the ground at any time and devour people. Anyway, a dozen people are pulled into the ground like this every day and they die. This situation has been going on for a long time. This is to raise the people in the city as pigs and sheep. When you are hungry, you come and catch a few to eat, and keep everyone from leaving. This city has been treated by the monster in the dark as fish on the chopping board. Quote. Chen Sheng's face was solemn. He definitely doesn't want to die here in the mouth of a monster. He must escape, or kill that monster. It may be difficult to kill the monster, but he is absolutely unwilling to stay here waiting for death. But to fight the fierce beast, Chen Sheng had no idea. Those monsters are too powerful, whether they are power or otherwise, they are too much beyond ordinary human beings, and they are fighting in the front. He is sure that he will die. If only there could be any way to become strong. There are fierce beasts in this world, why can't there be those who practice masters? Chen Sheng smiled secretly. When Chen Sheng secretly thought, thinking about strategies, suddenly, an old beggar in the city suddenly walked towards Chen Sheng. Looking at him, he grinned and showed his yellow teeth, and smiled. This brother, it's amazing, it's amazing. Lao Zhang understands this. Chen Sheng was awakened by his voice. www.novelhall.com, looked at the old beggar in front of him, and frowned. He was not driven because he was a beggar. Look at the little brother's head and horns, his luck is condensed, like a stick. Although it is dirty now, it has a lot to do. It will make you gain momentum and you will not be able to turn into a dragon pillar immediately. If you get good exercises, you see a ant fly immediately. Once you fly to the sky. Quote. The old beggar looked at Chen Sheng with a smile. You old beggar, begging for the wrong person, we don't even have a grain of rice. Someone behind Chen Sheng yelled. Don't worry, listen to what the old man said. Chen Sheng reached out and stopped. Although Sheng has the intention to do things for the people, this world is too difficult, and superior exercises cannot be found. How to cultivate and how to become stronger. In words, it was filled with emotion. This little brother doesn't need to worry, you see. This, 100 calamities, can solve all your problems. With it, you can soar into the sky. The old beggar grinned and came up with a full-fledged look at the exercises. The glory of that exercise is extraordinary. I have no money. Chen Sheng saw an infinite desire in his heart. Anxious to the exercises from the old beggar. But he didn't do it. What baby do you have? Take it out, the old beggar said with a smile. Eyes looked at Chen Shengwai. I only have this bead. I don't know what's the use. Chen Sheng took out a glass bead that didn't look up from his arms. But there are 2 golden pentagrams on it. Closing parenthesis dot. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. The computer accesses the latest chapter of the Eternal Kingdom. Mobile phone accesses the latest chapter of the Eternal Kingdom 168510. Chapter 157, Shit Stick. The old beggar saw a flash of light in his eyes, and then smiled and said, since you have no other treasures on your body, the old beggar looks at you and feels destined. If your bones are not cultivated, it is really a pity, just change with you. Quote. Talking about quickly plugging that exercise into Chen Sheng's hands, he also took the golden glass beads by the way. Old beggar, optimistic about you. The old beggar grinned, showing yellow teeth. Without talking, he turned and walked into an alley, and found a place to lie down. Boss, don't be fooled. A beggar, what can be good? This method is not fake. Someone frowned slightly doubting. Probably not. I have heard that Lu Bao has such a method in his hands. The papers of the books are the same and are very strange. Then Lu Bao snatched it from a common people. Many people have saw it. I've seen it, the paper can't be wrong. A strong man said. Should you rob the old beggar? He may have other babies. Someone said fiercely. No, the old beggar should not be an ordinary person, there is no need to start a conflict. Chen Sheng said, stopping. 100 calamities. Chen Sheng looked at the exercises in his hands, his whole body was shaking, and his heart shouted constantly. Chen Sheng finally came to work. There are exercises, in the hands of any beast monster, I have to kill everything, chop when dinner. Sure enough, I have a lot of luck. I will never die so easily. Chen Sheng already felt that his fortune was coming. How can a broken ball be exchanged for a book? This is his way of becoming stronger. Chen Sheng did not plan to leave immediately. Although Lushan City is dangerous, it can be regarded as a relatively safe place. It just needs to face death at any time. This is no different from the outside, but it can give him a place to stay, allowing him to practice quietly and really become stronger. Only by becoming stronger can he accomplish other things he wants to do and fulfill his ambitions. The old beggar crouched in the corner, watching Chen Sheng's move to settle down in the city. There was a meaningful light in his eyes, a grinning, and he murmured, well, Chen Sheng, what a stick fate. I can't escape the fate crap. Wherever I go, it's all the characters. But, it's a piece of hob meat. If two come across, it's amazing. Quote. Murmured, the old beggar lay on the ground, just snoring. Another week has passed. At night, the night is dark outside, and in the sky, the clouds cover the moon, so that the moonlight cannot shine on the ground. The night in the night appears deeper and darker. But at this moment, in Xuanwang village, it is another scene. A large number of villagers gathered in the village full of surprise and joy. I just saw that the street lights were distributed all over the village. When the night fell, these street lights, like pillars, bloomed brightly. The white light scattered the darkness around. The light shines like daylight, and the slightest trace will appear on the ground. Even a needle can be easily found on the ground. There is really no difference from daytime. Everything in front of you is clearly visible. Streets, houses, it's all the same. I don't know how many times more than I used a torch and a fire to illuminate. The street lights kept the entire village all the way to the city walls, in a clearly visible place. Especially the lighthouses set up on the city walls illuminate a large area outside the village. It is absolutely impossible for the beasts to sneak attack at night. Just get close and you will be found. Many people show joy and pride in the magical effect of the lantern. All kinds of astounding discussion sounded continuously. Qiming lantern, this is Qiming lantern. I heard that this is a lamp developed by Master Lu of Tiangong Pavilion. Compared with this, oil lamps can be thrown directly into the hut. Qiming lantern can illuminate a large area, and it is not weak. Everywhere, where it can shine, is the same light. Quote. I have seen the Qinhuai River lit up all night at Qinhuai River, and the lights are flashing. It is called Qinhuai River that is not night, but compared with Qiming lamp, it is simply the difference between heaven and earth. Even at night, under the illumination of Qiming lamp it's no different from daylight. It's incredible. It's said that this was created by cultivating the original technique with the means of practice. Lu Shi was also rewarded by the village chief for his invention of the light. Quote. It's great. Even with night lights, people can still walk and work like daytime, which can save a lot of time and continue to create various objects. If it was before, you could do business at night. It's not worse than daytime. In the future, I look at our village, and it will be very lively at night. You don't have to go to bed early at night to save oil. There is a day now. This is a sight that was impossible even in the former imperial city. We can enjoy it. Quote. Many people are proud of Xuanwang village where they live. There is a strong sense of home in my heart. It is this sense of homecoming that has made everyone's hearts completely united and regard Xuanwang village as his only home in this new world. This cohesion is the heart. People's hearts are people's hearts. The gathering of people's hearts makes the air transport in Tianqi more vigorous. The water in Tianqi almost completely overflows, and over the Tianqi, it turns into a cloud-like cloud of air transport and gradually expands. Under the light, we can see that the people who have been busy for a day are talking and laughing. Many men approach the women towards the past, and even reveal their love in secret. Although still struggling for survival, the attraction between the different is always indelible. Many young men and women, in these days, became familiar and even became emotional. Yi Tianxing said before that when he came to the New World, his former loved ones were separated. Perhaps they are separated by Amari, and it is difficult to see each other in this life. It can be said that everyone is a new beginning. If the previous relationship can be renewed, it is the destiny of heaven. If it cannot be renewed, then there is no need to be sad. Everyone has his own creation. This is a new world, and a new order has begun. Everyone, even if they had a family and children before, can still marry a wife and have children again. You can start your own life again. Form a new family. Xuanwang village recognizes a new family marriage. Everyone is also encouraged to form new families and build homes together. Multiplying children, inheriting incense, is the instinct of the human race from the blood. After so many days, everyone understands that the chance for the original relatives to meet again is very slim and almost impossible, and in the new world, open a new family, a new life, for the villagers who became monks, it was not difficult to accept. In this new world, men want to breed children, inherit incense, and women want to have reliance and security. In this regard, the emergence of some feelings is already a matter of reason. In Yi Tianxing's mansion, the Qiming lamp has long been used. In front of the door were 2 lighting lamps. There are also street lights in the courtyard. Enlightenment lamps were also placed in all rooms. It has been used everywhere it can be used. Yi Tianxing came to Kai Yan's door, reached out and knocked. "Brother Yi, you're here." Kai Yan opened the door and saw Yi Tianxing holding a bowl of Sanqianjun blood porridge in his hands. A flash of warmth flashed through his heart. "Look that you have no rest at night, let Lai He make a bowl of rare blood porridge. You like to drink this. Drinking a bowl at night can warm your stomach," Yi Tianxing said with a smile, and then went in together. Well, Kai Yan didn't say thank you, they no longer need to say thank you. Walked into the room, it can be seen that there is a table in front of Kai Yan. On the table, there is a sheet of white paper, as well as a writing brush and a ring. On the paper, you can see that many pages have been covered by ink. "Zhao Ji, you are practicing calligraphy," Yi Tianxing said after seeing it. "No, I'm copying books." Kai Yan shook his head and said, "I see that there are too few books in the village, and now the number of people in the village has increased, and the number of children is also quite large. Everyone in the village is a monk. If you don't even know the word, it's a pity." Quote, Zhao Ji had read most of the books collected by his father before, and now they are still in my heart. It happened that the village has produced blank paper, so I asked for some and copied the books I had originally written down to avoid forgetting later. Lost. Quote, Kai Yan had this idea before. Now that there are conditions, naturally I want to implement the idea. When Yi Tianxing heard, her heart was shocked, and she was immediately overjoyed. A record of Kai Yi emerged in her mind. She has been remembered from a young age. The books she has read can be remembered, and she collected her father as a child read all the books. There are many ancient books in it, and in the later generations, those are lost stories. Now there is a chance to rewrite it out. www.novelhall.com. This has an extraordinary meaning to the entire Xuanwang village. What is human civilization? That is words, books. Books are the crystallization of wisdom. Every book is packed with extraordinary wisdom. What Xuanwang village needs most now is also the inheritance of knowledge. But there are no books, these are all in vain. If Kai Yi can transcribe a large number of ancient books, it will be of great significance to the growth of the entire village. This is the heritage of civilization. Okay, great. This move by Zhao Ji has an indelible contribution to the entire village. The crystallization of the wisdom of the sages, which can be passed on, is a great joy. I will put the copied books into the Tibetan scripture in the court. Let everyone watch. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to start vote. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 158. Stormy. The Tibetan Scripture Pavilion is more than just a collection of exercises. Combat skills. The space in the Scripture Pavilion can be almost endless. Even a large number of books can be stored without appearing crowded at all. The first-level Scripture Pavilion, Yi Tianxing originally intended to place various functions of the Shanhai level. Codex combat skills. However, as long as you are willing, you can move the Shanghai Jing Gong FA books to the second level, and other levels of Gong FA can be extended to the third level and the fourth level. The first layer can be used to collect all kinds of books. 4 books and 5 classics, poems and classics, etc. Of course, if this is the case, ordinary books read in the first layer can no longer be inherited by the method of inheritance, but they need to be read by themselves. Although the method of inheritance can be directly printed into the mind, but enter in the mind, it does not mean that you can fully absorb the understanding. Those exercises and techniques are also imprinted in the mind, but they are only sealed in the mind. You have to look at it, you have to comprehend it, and you have to look at your own qualifications. It is not possible to incorporate complete perception into the mind, some are just the content of exercises. The specific practice depends on the individual. If it is just an ordinary book, there is no way of inheritance, it is irrelevant. If you look at it yourself, there will be a deeper skill, and the atmosphere of reading will increase. Zhao Ji also did not want the crystallization of the wisdom of the previous sages to be lost. The books that his father had collected so hard were lost. Kai Yan also nodded. She has been with books since she was a child, and has an unusual emotion for books. This feeling is very difficult to explain. Now that she has the conditions, she naturally hopes to copy the books that are remembered in her mind. Especially the blank paper in front of her was really too attractive for her. Before reading books, I used bamboo slips, and I really used a car to pull them. Now it is white paper, which is an unimaginable progress. The bamboo slips piled up in the past can now be fully recorded with only a few books. The emergence of books and white paper is a great progress in the development of human civilization. However, it doesn't need to be too urgent to transcribe books. The combination of work and rest is king. The transcript only needs to find free time. At other times, it can be used in cultivation. Era. Yi Tianxing also subconsciously told. Well, Zhao Ji knows. Kai Yan nodded and agreed. Together, after drinking Sanxianjun's blood porridge and sitting in the room for a while, Yi Tianxing did not stay. Although Kai Yi may not refuse if he wants to stay, he has no plans to do so. Eat her rashly. How can I choose a good day? The use of the Qiming lantern has reunited the hearts of the people in Xuanwang village, and after using the Qiming lantern, at night, the number of beasts and birds that hit the village has been reduced. In the night, the beasts have an instinct for light fear. Even if you are close, you can see the frightened birds that you can't see before in the light. It becomes easier to deal with it. Making the village invisible reduces a lot of dangers. Unconsciously, another 10 days passed quietly. On this day, the rising sun is rising. But at this moment, in the village, he unconsciously gave birth to a kind of indescribable dignified air. In the barracks, this kind of dignity and slaying are even more intense. Breakfast is full, rice, feral beast meat, piranha soup, and other tonic dishes appear in everyone's rice bowl. The generals in the barracks didn't make any sounds, picked up their rice bowls and ate with a big mouth. But in his body, they all sent out a strong sense of war. The action of eating was very fast, and breakfast was quickly solved. Slap. In a crisp sound of footsteps, only Yang Yi, Wang Dahu, Yang Yanping, and Yang Yanding were seen wearing bright armor with weapons in their hands. Brush. All the soldiers in the barracks set down their chopsticks. Suddenly got up. In the first time, the squad leader, platoon leader, company commander rectified, quickly lined up. In an instant, a neat queue formed. Gentlemen, the Lord's order was passed on yesterday. Presumably everyone should be until today. We may face an extremely difficult battle. There may be terrible enemies, fierce monsters. Yang Yi looked at a famous man with a pair of gazes and said loudly, "You, raise your troops for 1,000 days, use your troops for a while, are you afraid of death?" A roar sounded in the barracks. Not afraid, not afraid. A famous celebrity roared in unison, his body filled with endless warfare. Iron blood chi, confused over the sky. Okay, the safety of Xuanwang village depends on everyone. Let's go and go to the wall. Yang Yi waved decisively. Boom boom. A famous soldier picked up his weapon at the first time, took a neat step, trot out of the barracks, and headed towards the wall. As they walked through the village, hundreds of people looked up, with trust and pride in their eyes. Many people have already picked up guns in their hands. There was a sense of war on his body, and his blood was rolling inside. Many people are ready to fight with the enemy at any time. Moreover, people have begun to move stones on the wall silently. Outside the village, the veins have been sealed. The cultivated fields have been harvested. The vitality of heaven and earth for the growth of plants is too great. It takes time for the grain to mature beyond imagination, and it has matured in just 1 month. After harvesting, I just ate the breakfast that I just ate. Moreover, the yield is extremely high. Immediately, the grain reserves in the village were suddenly full. At least for a short period of time, you cannot be afraid of being hungry. The grain has been harvested, and now there is almost nothing to worry about outside the village. I don't know what dangers will occur this time. The village chief, General Yang, and Mr. Huang Lao have all said that this time they may encounter a terrible calamity. Moreover, it may be that our village of Xuanwang was promoted to a town a life and death test. Quote, "What are you afraid of? Our village is different. There are General Yang and more than 5,000 elite soldiers. There are hard walls, so I don't believe that there are any calamities that can destroy our village. And neither of us is eat dry rice. Not to mention, throwing stones on the wall can still be done." Quote, "I'd like to see what it is, dare to come to my Xuanwang village. Even if I am the king of heaven, let him fall to the ground. Fall completely under the city wall. The warfare in the eyes of a common people can be seen and felt. Living in Xuanwang village for such a long time, for this place, it is emotional, no one wants a home to ruin. Whoever dares ruin their lives, they work hard. This momentum and nature passed down when Yi Tianxing established Xuanwang village. Has become a characteristic of the village. One soldier, one raging nest. Yi Tianxing's daring to kill and fight has completely affected the entire village. This momentum, once passed down, brings the atmosphere of the entire village. In the face of a war, few will flinch. Even if they are afraid, they will rush up to grip the eggs. Why? In order not to lose the tone of my heart, dead eggs can be turned into the sky. This is folk customs. Soldiers on the city walls. However, some of them, under the leadership of Wang Dahu and Yang Yanping, waited in the village. Once other incidents occurred, this was the reserve force. Any danger in any place could be immediately culled. Brother Liu, it's really raining this time. I don't know if we Xuanwang village can survive this calamity safely. Huang Chengyan stood with teacher Liu, watching the atmosphere in the village, and sighed. But there was still a kind of calmness on his body. It should be, I can't hide it, and this should be a catastrophe that the villages will definitely encounter. As long as we pass, it will be a smooth road, and the future of Xuanwang village will be bright. As for what will happen to the degree, Lu Shi can say very clearly. Looking up to the void, Lu Shi can see that the air transport of the entire village is almost burning fire, but the black air in the sky is also as high as the black cloud and Taishan is pressing the city. The more terrible. Regarding Yi Tianxing's decision, he has no opinion and has made final preparations. There is no need to drag on. The sooner it is resolved, the better. Sooner or later. It's up to the protagonist now. Villages are promoted to villages and towns. Only the protagonist knows how to do this kind of thing. All we have to do is wait for the imminent danger. Huang Chengyan said, nodding. There is nothing to worry about now. Now the whole village already knows that Xuanwang village will be promoted to Xuanwang town, but there will be a crisis in the promotion. Whether you can survive it or not depends on this time. I believe Xuanwang village will not be destroyed. Kai Yan also stood on the city wall, www.novelhall.com, with grace and determination. Qi and Tianqi. Yi Tianxing had already stood beside Tianqi, looked at Tianqi, which was full in front of him, took a deep breath, and said flatly, "Heaven is above. Today, there is Xuanwang village's master Yi Tianxing. Please listen to heaven and earth. Xuanwang village since its establishment, I dare not have the slightest slackness to accommodate the people, resist the invasion of fierce beasts, monster attacks, internal martial arts, establish a system, the people's hearts are attached, today. The air transport has reached the limit, the village cannot tolerate. Hereby I beg the heaven and earth for permission, Xuanwang village promoted to Shenzhen." Yi Tianxing prayed for permission. Quote, "One word at a time," echoed directly in the entire air transport space. It seems that voice can pass directly into the will of heaven and earth. Get a response from Tiandi. When the luck reached its peak, Yi Tianxing naturally understood how to complete the promotion from the village to Shenzhen. Only when the Qi and Tianqi is full, there will be a peculiar connection between Tianqi and the will of heaven and earth. Perhaps, the distance between the two becomes extremely close. To be continued. If you like this work, You are welcome to start vote, your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users please read. Closing parenthesis. Chapter 159, Longmen. Renren novel welcomes you, please remember the address of this site. Mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. In this case, the owner of the village can pray to heaven and earth directly in the air transportation space. As long as the world is recognized, the promotion of villages and villages in that village is a natural process. Moreover, the spirit of luck is transformed. Once the transformation is completed, it is the complete promotion. Rumble. The moment Yi Tianxing's voice fell, I immediately felt that in the entire space of fortune, suddenly, as if there was an invisible wall covering the whole village, it seemed that there were invisible eyes watching everything around. Brush. Immediately afterwards, I saw that a ray of light appeared in the air transport space out of thin air, and the ray of light converged and turned into an ancient dragon gate. On this dragon gate, powerful coercion emanates, and it seems that many true dragons are roaring, soaring, and lifelike. Longmen. Yi Tianxing's eyes were fiery. In order for a fish to transform into a dragon, it must cross the dragon gate and cross the dragon gate to have the chance to transform into a long one. The dragon gate is creation, which contains endless mysteries. Golden carp, according to legend, contains dragon blood. As long as you cross the dragon gate, you can get baptism, the blood in your body awakens, and you become a real dragon. To some extent, it is already a dragon, but it is not a true dragon. The chance of Yulongmen is very rare. Qian gold carp is a golden carp, which is a special fish with dragon blood itself. Brush. After the Longmen condensed out, Qian gold carp was extremely excited in Tianqi, and an unbelievable fieriness was revealed in both eyes, which was an indescribable longing and fanaticism. Leap over, be sure to jump over. It was a shout from the blood. According to wild history records, in ancient China, at the source of the Yellow River, there was a dragon gate. Every year, a large number of Yellow River gold carps converge from all sides and head towards the dragon gate. But in the process, I don't know how many gold carps fell on the road that hit Longmen. On the Yellow River, carp carcasses were scattered. Only a few can pass. It is because it is too difficult to leap over Longmen. Difficulty is impossible, but even so, the carp in the Yellow River will still hesitate to make an impact on Longmen every year. Even if they die on the road of impact, they will not hesitate to go forward and never shrink. This is an instinct that is passed from the blood vessels of the carp. An irresistible instinct. The longing for Longmen is beyond the imagination of outsiders. The same is true of the lucky gold carp now. But at this moment, the gantry burst out into the air, making room for air transport. Wow! Seeing Qian Jinli, he was in a hurry immediately, and swung his body directly, then rushed out of Qian space. What's going on? Longmen flew away. Yi Tianxing felt a moment in his heart, but immediately left the space of luck and appeared outside. Rumble. The sky above Xuanwang village showed no sign, and there was a loud roar. In the roaring province, I saw a golden dragon gate appearing in the void from the air. And in the void, under the golden light emitted by the dragon gate, a strange black gas with blood in the dark enveloped the sky. Longmen, it was the dark air that enveloped the village, and it appeared directly under the power of Longmen. Lu Shi couldn't help pinching his beard, his eyes were shocked. That black gas, originally, in the village, no one can see except him. But now under the power of the dragon gate, it appears directly in front of everyone. What is this and why is there such a strong black air over our village? Omen, is this a hidden omen? Longmen, I've heard that this is Longmen. In the legend, carp can pass over Longmen and become a dragon species. The blood veins are transformed. It is really expensive, but how can it appear here? Many people were secretly surprised. Many people have an impression of Longmen, but they don't know what it means. When seeing black gas, a strong aversion and depression are born instinctively. As if it were a natural enemy. The gantry pans in the void. The dark air around him seemed to be gathering under the dragon gate under a strange power, and turned into a dark river. One end leads to the void, but it does not approach the dragon gate, which is 9 meters high from the Black Long River. One end extends directly over the village. It looks like a long river flying down from high altitude. Moreover, countless black gas can be seen rolling in this black river, like a river, washing away from top to bottom. A terrifying gas machine passed from the dragon gate. Under this air machine, if it did not pass through this black river, it would be crushed down completely, and it would not be possible to reach the front of the dragon gate. Snapped. Over the sky of Yi Tianxing's mansion, a golden light flew out and slammed into the dark black river. Golden carp, Lu Shi, Huang Chengyan and others both exclaimed. Wow! In the black river, the black gas swept through like a rolling wave, like the most breathless river. To rush to the Dragon Gate, we must go against the current. Once unable to swim up, it is impossible to jump over the Dragon Gate. As soon as the air transport Golden Carp entered the Black River, it immediately felt the terrible pressure transmitted by the river, that pressure, as if it were in a swamp quagmire, and it must be completely suppressed in the Black River. But the lucky Golden Carp is fierce and tenacious. As soon as he entered the Haihei River, he immediately turned into a golden lightning, quickly moved upstream, and a large area of black gas was broken open. There was no way to stop the Qi Yunjin Carp. The gas transportation accumulated in Xuanwang village is too huge and the background is too strong. The gas transportation Golden Carp has grown to the extreme in Tianqi. Even the strong resistance contained in this black river cannot really stop the pace of transporting Golden Carps. Fast forward. Go up against the current. Upward against the current, leaping over the Dragon Gate. Yi Tianxing stood on the ground and watched the movement of Qian Jinli, his eyes exuding hope. This is a test of the village's promotion to the township. It can be said that this test, if the Golden Luck Carp can skip the Dragon Gate, it is a perfect promotion. If the Dragon Gate cannot be skipped, the promotion is considered a failure, will be exhausted in the Yulongmen this time, and the Golden Carp will become extremely weak. This is a sprint without a retreat. Qian Gold Carp and Qian Tianqi are integrated. During the process of Qian Gold Carp going against the current, the Qian in Tianqi is continuously consumed. This consumption is terrifying. Consumed, it is impossible to recover. Only slowly accumulate. At this moment, everyone was watching. A pair of eyes, all condensed on the Black River, fell on the Golden Carp struggling to move forward without fear, and everyone seemed to feel a kind of invincibility on the Golden Carp, like I am invincible. Momentum. Seeing the fight in the countercurrent, the blood in my heart was boiling. The blood was ignited. Run up, be sure to run up. Jump over the Dragon Gate. We won't lose, we can definitely jump over the Dragon Gate. We will succeed, there is no force to stop it. There are no hundreds of people cheering for Qian Jinli in their hearts. Pray secretly in my heart. In the valley jungle, in the dark cave. Suddenly, there were countless dark black gases, and these black gases contained a disgusting breath. It seems that I can feel all the bad emotions in the world. 7 emotions and 6 desires intertwine and change. Endless karma is rolling and sin is reverberating. Rumble. There was a sudden roar in the black cave, only to see that a tall white warhorse rushed out. On the warhorse, there was a general wearing a bone armor. This general is also a skeleton. Skeleton warhorse, skeleton general. This warhorse has a single horn on its head. The dark unicorn with texture on it looks like it makes people feel like they can pull in together with their eyes and minds. It was terrible, frightening. Behind the skeleton general were 2 flags, each with a large letter on it. Hanging the 2 pennants, www.novelhall.com, the momentum of the general skeleton soared a big moment, like a general skeleton. Click, bang bang, there was a roar in the cave, only to see a skeleton warrior gushing out of the black cave like a tide, densely packed. Quickly occupy a large area around them, those skeleton warriors, almost everything, there are skeleton swordsmen, archers, and skeleton cavalry. Sword shield hand, lancer. Whistling out, surrounded by the skeleton general. The hollow pupils in the eyes flashed the cold pupil fire. When walking around, the sound of bones exuding from the body made people tremble, giving a chill. That picture is really terrible. Horrible enough to challenge the psychological limits of many people. Thousands of these skulls appeared, and they continued. It seems that the cave leads to another world. Ding! General Skeleton held a bone blade sword in his hand, looked up, and waved a long knife directly at Xuanwang village. Rumble! Without any hesitation, a large number of skeleton warriors swept away towards Xuanwang village where they were. Wherever you go, you can see that a large number of trees and flowers were pushed flat, and anything that was in front of them was forcibly broken. Swept out like a sea of skulls. Let life have a chilling feeling. Thousands of armies of skeletons are moving at a slow speed. In a blink of an eye a long distance rushed. Running faster than normal people. Countless fierce beasts and monsters in the mountain forest evaded in all directions and fled. As long as they didn't avoid it, they were all involved in the skeleton army and killed instantly. These skeleton warriors have a superb instinct for combat. To be continued. Chapter 160, Ichthyosaur. Renren Novel welcomes you. Please remember the address of this site. Mobile phone reading, so that you can always read the latest chapter of the novel, Eternal Kingdom. These skeletons, as if they were the most elite warriors in their lives, have a fighting instinct from their bones. Moreover, it is extremely cold, without any feelings, and some are just cold and death. They are messengers who bring death. Among them, even cavalry, skeleton cavalry gathered behind the skeleton general, naturally exuding an invincible momentum. In the empty eyes and pupils, the cold pupil fire flickered. In the mountains, countless violent birds flew away in panic. You can even see the skeleton birds flying in the sky, killing the birds. Devour the flesh and blood of ferocious beasts, and make their death air become richer. Rumble. The ground was shaking and the white tide was spreading. The ground vibration also spread to Xuanwang village. The fierce roar is like a galloping horse. There are a lot of monsters running, and the direction to go is our Xuanwang village. Yang Yi stood on the city wall, looking away from the sky to transport gold carps, looking farther, he saw the bird panicking and flickering, looking dignified. This is not a good sign. This kind of momentum is definitely not as simple as 1 or 2. It looks like we will have a tragic war to face. Huang Chengyan looked deep outside the village and muttered to himself. Now it's not just about facing monsters outside, it is crucial that this time Yu Dragon Gate is successful. Yu Dragon Gate transforms dragon species, and luck is fundamental. Lu Shi said. Yulongmen is the most important. Crossing the Dragon Gate is the victory. Sure enough, not only is Yulongmen, the village itself has to face a severe test. However, I would like to see what kind of monsters can come and hit the village. Yi Tianxing also heard the roar from the ground. There was a stun in my heart, and I strode across the wall immediately. On the wall, after seeing Yi Tianxing, a famous soldier, and the people could not help expressing a strong excitement in his eyes. The feeling was as if he had a spiritual pillar, a war in his body, and blood boiling. The blank fear in my eyes disappeared. As if to see Yi Tianxing, he has infinite confidence. Nothing is invincible. Look, what's that? Someone suddenly shouted loudly, pointing at the forest in the distance. Skull, a lot of skeletons are resurrected. Skull warriors, a lot of skeletons are really terrifying. Is this the legendary undead? A monster that is dead but not stiff. Even if it is dead, only the bones will crawl out again. This is a monster, a monster. It is said that if someone has resentment in his heart, even if it is dead, it will become an undead or a zombie. When he comes out to avenge, he never expected to see a living skeleton. This is an undead dead. Fuck him. Even if we crawl out of the grave, we are not afraid of him. Even if we are resurrected, we will kill them again and turn them into a pile of bones. We don't believe that these guys can't be killed. On the wall, a common man could not help secretly swallowing a spit. Suddenly, I saw the army of skeletons that were platooning in downhill. The impact on them was too great. These are monsters, which represent monsters that are dead. In the past, it was evil spirits. When ordinary people saw them, they were not scared. Soul flying soul is good. However, these did not make the people in Xuanwang village lose their war intentions. Everyone was ruthless in heart, and yelled openly. Even if the deceased climbed out of the death, dare to destroy their lives, home, even a skeleton will smash you. Break into a pile of bones and become real bones. It is not easy to deal with. There are too many of these skeletons. Now, there are already tens of thousands of them, and they are constantly increasing. The number will only be more, not less, and it may even completely surround the entire village. Yang Yi frowned slightly, creating a strong pressure in his heart. Even he did not expect that the enemy that appeared was not fierce beasts and birds, but a large army of skeletons who did not know where they came from. These skeletons are all holding weapons, and the breath of death on their bodies. As you can imagine, they will not feel fear, or flinch. They will be truly invincible and invincible. These are monsters, really monsters without emotion. It is not so easy to deal with. Rumble, click, the ground was roaring, and a large number of skeletons were scattered, completely surrounding Xuanwang village from all sides. When the skeleton was running, the bones on his body made a strange noise. An invisible pressure is rolling over the entire village like a tide. It turned out to be an undead, a skeleton army. Yi Tianxing saw that his eyes could not help flashing the light. He and the undead Li Gui could not be familiar anymore. For dealing with fierce beasts, he was better at dealing with evil things such as undead and undead. Congenital yin and yang eyes are born to restrain these undead creatures. However, it is absolutely right to say that it is difficult to deal with it, especially the skeletons, turned into an army, and the destructive force caused by them is really terrible. Whatever it is, even if it is an undead creature that blocks the road of Xuanwang village, it must be completely destroyed. Yi Tianxing sneered secretly in his heart. Even undead, doesn't want to break through Xuanwang village. Look, that golden carp is almost under the dragon gate. It's so fast. It doesn't seem that the Black River can really stop the pace of the golden carp. It is incredible that it can still have such an amazing degree. It will have an immense power in his body. There is hope, there is great hope to jump over Longmen. Someone exclaimed. Yi Tianxing also refocused on the dragon gate. I just saw that the Qian Jinli almost wielded an extremely powerful muscle almost from the beginning, and charged forward in a frantic manner. When the fish was swinging, it kept separating the black gas and moved forward in the Black River like a quagmire. Like a bamboo shoot, when the black gas washed over, the golden carp's body continued to glow with golden light, forcibly resisting the invasion of the black gas. Every time you swing your body, you make your position move forward continuously, and it is a big step. Even if it is going against the current, the degree of air transporting the golden carp is extremely fast, as if the influence of the Haihei River does not exist at all. Of course, this is impossible. It is possible to have this degree under the pressure. As you can imagine, if there is no such resistance, the degree of luck in transporting gold carp will be even more alarming. Even more incredible. Anyone knows that from the bottom to the upstream, the closer to the upstream, the greater the resistance and the stronger the impact. The closer Jinyan carp is to the dragon gate, the slower it is. But still fierce. With a momentum of indomitable momentum. His eyes were always staring at the golden gate. The body is constantly approaching the dragon gate. 100 meters and 80 meters. 50 meters. Unknowingly, Qian gold carp has flew close to the area 20 meters under the dragon gate. 19 meters, 18 meters. Just near 18 meters, a bright golden light burst out of Qian Jinli. In the golden light, the fish scales on Qian Jinli were shaking, and it could be felt that the power inside it was completely violent. Wow! The sound of crisp water splashed fiercely. At the moment of sounding, in the golden light, the lucky gold carp leapt towards the dragon gate. This leap, as if you can feel an unstoppable momentum on her body, staring at the dragon gate in his eyes. At this moment, except for the dragon gate, Qian Jinli can't see anything, there are only in the eyes that great dragon's gate. At this moment, the lucky gold carp is exactly the same as a normal gold carp. Longmen is 9 meters high from Haihei. The lucky gold carp started jumping at the 18-meter position. This leap turned into a bright golden arc in midair. The strength of the Jinyan carp bursting out in the air was too great. At the same time it leapt, the Black River water under him exploded directly, just like a huge stone smashed into the water. This jump is too high. Leap straight ahead towards Longmen. www.novelhall.com has. Quote. Huang Chengyan shouted. Yu Dragon Gate is a perfect combination of strength and skill. It has power, but its can't work without skills. It has no skills and no power. You can't even touch the Dragon Gate. The rising height, the radian of the leap, crossing the Dragon Gate, it is not a problem at all. Lu Shi also grabbed his beard and smiled on his face. Brush. Sure enough, the strength accumulated by Qian Jinli was too strong. There was no accident in this jump. All the resistance and pressure were all broken away, and it jumped into the Dragon Gate at once. At the moment when Qian Jinli got into the Dragon Gate, an endless amount of golden light burst out from the Dragon Gate, shining brightly, shining on the whole sky, so that everyone was replaced by the bright golden light. There seems to be a mysterious power in the golden light. There is a steady stream of drilling and transporting gold carp. On the other end of the Dragon Gate, in Jingguang, he saw that the head of Qian Jinli had been drilled out. It was just this drill that turned into a world-changing metamorphosis. The gills on the fish's head disappeared, and 2 long whiskers grew on the fish's head. The long beard was golden, and as the body appeared a little, the body became longer and rounder. The golden scales on his body are even brighter. The body became slender, like a sturgeon, but covered with gold scales. There was a sense of coercion that had not been seen before. That was the coercion from the blood. This is ichthyosaur. Yi Tianxing saw an instant induction in his heart. Yu Dragon Gate, under the power of Dragon Gate, awakens the blood of dragons in the body. However, it is impossible for a golden carp to transform into a true dragon in an instant. Of course, it may be related to the power contained in the Dragon Gate. Obviously, this fan cannot yet completely transform a carp into a true dragon, but it can awakening of dragon blood in the body. 8.